Start of a beautiful weekend in the Big Easy, and welcome back, Joel Myers, along with John Stinchcomb and Sean Kelly. Of course, Mike Neighbors, John DeShazer on the sideline, and with our Window World sideline report, first of the evening. Let's check in now with Mike Neighbors. Mike?
Thank you very much, Joel. The Saints glad to be back in the Dome. It's hard to believe this is the first ever time that Brandon Cooks has stepped foot in this building after 3 great weeks in West Virginia. It seems like we've covered this guy for a long, long time. He was on fire at the Greenbrier, seemingly making a play each and every day. But away from his play on the field, Sean Payton says what makes him unique, he wants to please everybody. Drew Brees likes the fact he wants to be great. We'll see the sequel tonight. For more on the Saints, here's John DeShazer.
Thanks, Mike. Another Oregon State alum. Keenan Lewis played Pro Bowl caliber cornerback at right corner last year. This year, Keenan moves to the left side. He expects to play the same level. He said he played left cornerback the majority of his career. Before he came to the Saints, says the eye angle's a little bit different. The footwork's a tad different. However, everything else pretty much the same, including the technique. Back to you, Joel.
All right, JD, thank you. And the one thing that stood out more than anything else, guys, last week is the overall depth of the New Orleans Saints this year.
It's going to be huge. Obviously, you've added pieces that haven't even taken the field yet with Bird and Bailey, but they play so well together as a group.
Saints won the opening toss. Kyrie Robinson going back along with Travaris Cadet, the man in the middle. And it's time, and we are ready for our Louisiana Cat opening kickoff. And there's a competition, a battle between Benani and also Travis Coons, the rookie out of Washington, with a place-kicking job for the Tennessee Titans, a team that went 7-9 last year. A team that has missed the playoffs in 5 consecutive seasons. They have not had a playoff win in 10 straight years, so that is an extreme dry spell. And now on their second coach in life after Jeff Fisher. We'll get to that in just a moment. Benani kicks it away. And Cadet back line of the end zone. Wisely right there. So the Saints with it, 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. And we talked about the 2 quarterbacks, and it is going to be Luke McCowan starting tonight and didn't see as much time, so really couldn't feel like he got a rhythm quite like Ryan Griffin.
I'm sure they want to see what Luke can do with this first group. They're going to give both guys a great shot at being able to play. As you see lined up at center right now is Jonathan Goodwin, another position battle. And first play, it's right behind Goodwin. So you can see they're going to get a lot of plays in.
Saints offense brought to you by Valero, Ingram, Johnson, Colston, Meacham, and of course Jimmy Graham, the tight end. Calamete is getting his second start. Marcel Jones as well at guard, as both the Pro Bowlers will sit once again, Grubbs and Evans. So a good run on first down, a gain of about 6. And a little slant. It is going to be Jimmy Graham. Low and away, slightly behind him, but we're used to those kind of catches by Jimmy Graham. First down. Now defensively for Tennessee, 3-4 alignment. It's all brought to you by Valero. Sammy Hill kind of keys things, their nose tackle. Morgan, Woodyard, along with Brown and Wimberly. Sensabaugh and McCourty on the corners with Griffin and Bernard Pollard, who has been a Raven, a Texan, and now in his second season with Tennessee. So 2 snaps, about a first down, and 16 yards. Plenty of pocket protection, and slightly underthrown as it's looking for Brandon Cooks, and batted away at the last second by Michael Griffin, the safety in his 8th year out of Texas.
It all starts with a great pocket provided by this offensive line. Luke McCown has plenty of time. He's got space. Tries to find Brandon Cooks, the sensational rookie, and just undercut by the defender right there.
Yeah, it almost looked like if it was over the top. Cooks is still running. Little dash by Ingram. He won't quit on the play, will he? Boy, great second after yards after contact. He got 7. Stinch, it didn't look like a thing. And I'll tell you what Mark Ingram said after the game last week and during the week. He didn't talk about himself. He talked about the offensive line.
Spoken like a true running back, I say. You can see hat on hat right here. There's really no defender that's come uncovered. So Ingram puts his head down, follows his blockers, and pushes ahead for 7 yards.
And now Pierre Thomas is out there for the first time of the preseason in the backfield with tight end Benjamin Watson. Need a little more than 3. Van McCown a bullet. Man, it was juggled slightly, but Thomas pulls it in at the 45 for a first down.
This one makes Pierre Thomas so valuable is his ability to catch the ball out of the backfield. A true three-phrase running back for the New Orleans Saints. And knowing where he is on the field, slipping underneath the defensive back there is so smart for him. It's interesting, Joel, last week when the Titans opened their preseason against Green Bay, this new 3-4 hybrid defense that you're talking about got gashed on the run by the Green Bay Packers in a rain-soaked, sloppy game at LP Field.
Yeah, 8 balls, fumbles, and 2 were recovered, 1 for each side, but 8 total fumbles as wet as it was. Little pump fake, man, back shoulder didn't work. It was well beyond Robert Meacham on the attempt by McCown on 1st and 10 from the 45. We talk about undrafted players. Pierre Thomas, obviously one of those guys at the top of the list. And also, when we talk about this roster and the depth of the roster, remember, out of the 90 players in the Saints camp, 59 have less than 4 years of NFL experience. This is still a very young squad.
Truly amazing stat. It's amazing that they've been able to keep the core intact for this New Orleans Saints team, but they continue to add pieces across the board that complement each other.
Through the hands of Ingram. It'll fall incomplete. He was a safety valve to begin with. So Woodyard, the backer in his 7th year out of Kentucky, with the pressure on Luke McCowan. Drive started back at the 20. And a nice mix of pass and run early.
That's twice now McCown's been able to exit the pocket to extend a play. First time he found Pierre Thomas and was looking for Ingram on the last.
Nick Toon doubles up on the top side, wide side of the field with Cooks in the slot. And on the out, what a catch. Brandon Cooks. Well thrown ball to the wide side of the field, so that took some juice, didn't it?
It absolutely did. It starts with Tennessee brings both middle backers. They cross them in the middle, and they're able to pick it up. You see Pierre Thomas, what he does well. He steps up in the pocket, picks up the blitzing linebacker. Then you find McCown, who finds your playmaker in the rookie sensation, Brandon Cooks, right there on the sideline to move the sticks.
They move it on 3rd and 10 down to the 29 of Tennessee as the Saints are now 2 for 2 on their 3rd down tries. Ingram, the single in the backfield, finds a little crease. It closed in a hurry, though. It was the defensive back off the corner, Jason McCourty, a 6th-year man out of Rutgers. Otherwise, it looked like a big gain for Mark Ingram.
They got good push up that right side, right behind Zach Streif at right tackle, and they were able to get the running back to a secondary player who comes in and fills the hole after a 4-yard gain.
Thomas takes over in the backfield on the deep single. Little dump off, Jimmy Graham. A little space and a first down. So Graham matched up with an outside backer, pulled down by Woodyard with some help. But they move the chains again.
McCown does a great job of setting his feet here and throwing off his right foot, as opposed to the other times he's seen heat coming out of the pocket where he may have rushed things a little bit in earlier throws. This one's a really nice effort by Luke McCown.
You can see it's a designed play to get Jimmy Graham in space. Play action away. McCown comes around. He's got pressure in his face and still able to find Jimmy.
1st and 10 for the 19. Saints with Ingram on the handoff in the Slap Ya Mama Cajun seasoning red zone. And on 1st and 10 from the 19 down to the 15, gain of 4. And don't forget, this drive started all the way back at the 20. 2 key 3rd down conversions have kept the drive alive. So the Saints were so good in time of possession last year. It was kind of even in game number 1, but they're chewing clock early tonight. McCown out of the gun, empty backfield. And good effort. That's Nick Toon, who, with the little stumble, got enough for the first down going low.
And last week, Joe, while he caught the ball very well, he didn't get much after the catch. So to see him take a step here with this play is nicely done in the 2nd week of the preseason.
Well, much has been made about the wide receiver battles, and you can tell guys are trying to make that extra effort so that not only can they make this team, but be called upon in game times. And Nick Toon's one of the guys that's battling for playing time when September rolls around.
The 4th round pick 3 years ago out of Wisconsin. Fullback gets the call again, and we saw him on the first snap of the contest for 6. And Austin Johnson in his 2nd season out of Tennessee, a guy that was on the practice squad last year.
And
gets it down to the 5.
And a guy who played linebacker in college. So you hope that some of that toughness translates to, I guess, what would be the equivalent, John, of a linebacker on the offensive side at the fullback position.
Well, he's probably so used to taking on fullbacks from the linebacker side. He's pretty well versed in that battle.
2nd and goal. And make it 1st and goal from the 6. And on the back shoulder. Can't hang on. It's Meacham. It got him right as he turned around. He was all tangled up with Jason McCourty. Give the D-back credit on that play.
Well, Tennessee brings 3 on that, so there was pressure coming. There's separation from Meacham, but a lot of heavy hand play between Meacham and the cornerback right there.
As soon as that ball makes contact with Meacham, that arm is fair game to yank away. That's a veteran pull right there by the near side corner.
That's not McCourty's first rodeo.
No.
Graham, the motion man. Kyrie Robinson tried to cut it inside and push back for a loss of a yard outside of the 6. Back to the previous play that we were just talking about in the cornerback coverage.
Well, you can see it's going to be a one-on-one battle the whole way. Trying to get a little separation there, and it looks like that ball might have even made it all the way to Meacham's chest.
So now a 3rd and goal situation. Saints opening drive of the game started back at their own 20-yard line. And already 8.5 or 8:40 and counting left in the first 15. Looking one way, McCown buys some great pocket protection. Jimmy Graham's available. Touchdown Saints. Patience, poise in the pocket.
Luke McCown at times, Joel, during camp, maybe has held the ball a little too long under pressure. But in this case, it pays off. In other words, let 80 find a spot for you and make a great play.
Boy, they're going to emphasize this year. Jimmy Graham not going to dunk the football, I guess.
The result of the play is a touchdown. After the play, sportsmanlike conduct by the offense, number 80. That 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
Let's see how Jimmy Graham gets open right here. Well, McCown extends the play. Jimmy Graham finds a little space and does what he does best, catch the ball for touchdowns.
He took the step back in the end zone. As soon as he saw the defender in front of him slip forward a little bit, Jimmy takes that quick step back and gives himself a good cushion.
Demke is in there, and it is perfect. And he didn't hurt himself last week with a field goal and an extra point in the battle with Shane Graham. So Jimmy Graham, first on the board for the Saints. Not exactly a surprise. Coming 80-yard drive to start the first preseason game at home for the Saints. The scoring play, John.
Well, you watch Jimmy Graham come off the line. He's covered. They've got him bracketed. There's 2 defenders right there, inside, outside. He releases, comes up for Luke McCown, creates separation from the defensive back. Jimmy Graham smart enough to create space, take a step back away from the defender, and ends up in a touchdown. Great job of McCown extending the play, getting out in space, and letting Jimmy Graham find just enough opening when the defender comes up to prevent McCown from just running in for a touchdown.
Rouse's scoring drive, and McCown on that drive, 6 for 10 for 58. Mariani on the short kick from the 9. But don't forget, it was the mark off on Jimmy Graham, and weaving his way with Mark Mariani, the return specialist in his 5th year out of Miami. The guy that's missed most of the last 2 seasons for Tennessee with injuries. Perfect start to the weekend. Like to be on St. Charles all weekend long, wouldn't we? Drive 6.5 off the clock. Tennessee gets it for the first time. And welcome back to the Dome. Our Window World sideline report. Once again, we check in with John DeShazer. John.
Thanks, Joel. Now, Jimmy obviously reluctant to give up the hops. He dunked it at the Greenbrier the first time he scored there at practice. He also dunked last week in St. Louis in pregame. Dunks tonight, draws the flag. However, I don't think he'll be doing it anymore unless it's in Atlanta. Unless you recall, the Falcons are the team that proposed the penalty for shaking the goalpost for the dunks. So that's the team Jimmy Graham probably really wants to dunk against. Joel?
All right, John. He can do anything he wanted against the Dirty Birds as far as we're concerned.
That's right. You know, he shifted the goalpost when he did that at Atlanta on that Thursday night game last year.
Jake Locker, first round pick 3 years ago, 8th overall out of Washington. They did not pick up his option, his 5th year rookie contract option. He's a free agent. Little play fake action. And going out, Kendall Wright, speed receiver and a record-breaking receiver out of Baylor, is chopped down after his short game with a flag down on the play. Our Valero backs and receivers for the Titans. Green, Battle, Washington Wright, and Delaney Walker is their tight end. Roos, Vitri, along with Schwenke, Warmack, and Michael Orr, the former first-round pick of the Ravens in his first season as a free agent signing with Tennessee.
There is no foul on the play for an illegal block in the back. Second down.
Ron Torbert, the referee for this evening's contest. So Tennessee coming in off a 7-9 season last year. A win over the Packers. Sean Kelly just mentioned it, the driving rainstorm last weekend. And they've got a good battle at running back as well. Said goodbye to their longtime tailback, Chris Johnson. Sean Green on a slight delay into the secondary. Former Iowa Hawkeye with big yardage. And a first down for Tennessee. Defensively, all brought to you by Valero, Hicks, Bunkley, and Jordan, the 3-4. Rob Ryan, Gillette, Humber. Humber had a serious game last week. Lofton, Harrelson, Lewis, and White on the corners. As Bush and Kenny Vaccaro. Once again, the safeties. From the Saints 42. 7.5 to play in the opening 15 minutes. Little counter action, through an arm tackle. And it looked like it was going to be Junior Gillette with a tackle for a loss. Instead, yards gain. Our keys to the game all brought to you by Murphy Cadillac. Expect the very best. Keys going in, Stinch.
Well, for the offense, it's established the run, which I think they did pretty well that first series. And then you don't want to have any turnovers. That's the way they started last game. For the defense, it's no big plays. Make them earn it, make them work down the field, and on third down, get off the field. Don't let drives extend.
Dexter McCluster has taken over the backfield. Former Kansas City Chief, and good grab. Looking back on it, McCluster, and that's what he did for Kansas City. This is a guy with 151 catches over the last 3 seasons. He was really effective in this role.
He creates space, and he's troublesome. He's a wheel route for a running back. Curtis Lofton's in position, but he makes a play. Dexter McCluster, this is what he brings to the Tennessee Titans, is in space. It's trouble for linebackers to stay with a quick player like McCluster.
He's a part of a crowded backfield for them. They drafted a running back, Joel. We'll talk more about him when he comes in later. But that's a pretty strong position group right now for the Titans.
Hasn't taken long for Tennessee to take it from their own 38 down to the Saints 23 and a first down. That's Kendall Hunter. Man laid out pretty well, but he was vulnerable as the corner came up, and that's Corey White taking care of the situation.
Joel, we're going to see this in real time here, and Corey White is at a strong camp, trying to close as fast as he can, puts a pretty good lick on him right there. But that's what the NFL wants. They want that helmet on the numbers, and even with a defensive receiver in the air, White's technique looks pretty strong there.
It'll be second and short. Sean Green once again. Locker effective on the little turn-in route. And ball on the ground. Delaney Walker took it in, lost it. Saints say they have it at about the 8-yard line. And is it a turnover?
Now we're going to see flags for the extracurriculars. Woo!
Spirited preseason game number 2.
You can see Cam Jordan didn't like what happened and then got involved a little bit late, trying to peel away.
Anytime you're at the bottom of a pile, there's still a loose ball. Things get a little chippy, and you can see both teams weren't real excited about how their opponent was digging and scraping for that ball at the bottom.
Are you saying we're not a whole lot of manners in play here, Stinch?
Those go right out the window as soon as the ball's on the turf.
We didn't have many conversations and conferences last week in St. Louis.
Unfortunately, now you've got to not only sort out who has the ball, but now who do you flag and lay out unsportsmanlike conduct here at the end of the play?
It's a pretty good throw by Jake Locker.
Joel, much like last week when we saw the Rams, who were coming off of the season without Sam Bradford due to all the injuries, the Titans in some way are a lot like that, in that Locker suffered 2 significant injuries last year and really ruined his season. And they never were able to recover without Locker under center.
Well, it was Curtis Lofton after Kenny Vaccaro. And I wondered if he had it for at least the completion because he got hit immediately.
The result of the play is a catch and a fumble that was recovered by New Orleans. After the play, dead ball, personal foul by the defense, number 76. That penalty will be assessed half the distance from the dead ball spot. First down, New Orleans.
Well,
timeout.
We talk about Kenny Vaccaro, and you saw his value to this team. After the slant, all of a sudden, Donnie Walker doesn't know what hit him. Lofton's on the bottom with the football, and the Saints will have it up by 7 when we come back to the Dome. Tonight, boy, what a difference. Last night, tonight, I guess the Saints had a game. It was busy. Well, join us for the 4th and final game of the preseason. It'll be on Thursday, August 28th. Saints matching up with the Ravens of Baltimore right here at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. Our live coverage on CST starts at 6:30 Central. Saints tonight. It's all followed by the call of the game. So don't forget, we've got your live post-game coverage from the Dome right after the game. CST, your regional sports network, and your home for the Saints. So Sean Payton gets his offense back out there for the second time. So it was an 8-yard completion before the fumble. They take it with the penalty to Akeem Hicks. Back to the 5. And now the Saints are going to have it, and they were impressive. As now they're trying to assess if they put it down at the proper place. So they were over looking at the monitor. It looked like he took a step, and that's what I waited for. Was it possession? And I think that's what they're finding out again. But he hits right there. Yeah, more than one step even.
Yep, looks like he's making forward progress, but the most encouraging thing is Kenny Vaccaro dislodging the ball.
Yes.
You add him with a healthy Jarris Byrd as you move into season. You gotta, for the Who Dat Nation, that's a safety combo that could really dislodge some balls and create some havoc.
Let's check in with Mike Neighbors. Mike.
It's funny you mentioned Jarris Byrd and Kenny Vaccaro. Kenny Vaccaro said last year, even before he was a teammate with Byrd, he would watch film of him in Buffalo to kind of get better as a safety, and he said it's just great to have him as a teammate, even though they haven't played together that much. Sean Payton talks about the intelligence of Kenny Vaccaro and what kind of leader he can be on this defense. They see such a big upside. You know, we talk about Brandon Cook's impact this year. Kenny Vaccaro, of course, made that impact a year ago before his injury. Back to you guys.
Now they're saying it's
Following
incomplete.
incompletion, we've got a dead ball foul by the defense, number 76. That foul will be enforced half the distance from the previous spot. It'll be Tennessee's ball, first and goal on the 9-yard line. Please reset the game clock. 5 minutes, 25 seconds, please. 5:25.
As we mentioned,
we'll start the clock.
kind of a bang-bang
snap.
play. It looked like he
Thank
took
you.
a step with possession. They're saying he didn't have it completely.
Yeah, that's amazing, and they took a long time to determine that. Still, it doesn't take away from all the good things we're saying about Vaccaro and what the Saints defense wants to do in taking the ball away. And talking to Wes McGriff, the defensive backs coach for the Saints this past week, he said, let's not forget about this group. Their number one job is to take away the football.
Leon Washington, first snap, 9th year out of Washington, is in the backfield. Locker, here comes pressure, and he's on his way down. Collette pinched in, or making Cam Jordan actually pinched in from the side. Bunkley from the middle. And they combine. In fact, if they put it down to the 10, it is a half a sack each.
Well, give credit to the secondary because Jake Locker just has nowhere to go with the ball. Cam Jordan with the bull rush. He's actually getting double teamed by the guard. Spins inside as the pocket ends up collapsing and wraps up the quarterback for no gain, if not a sack right there.
Yeah, it's back to the 10. So, and they may say, and now they're marking off on penalty at the end of the play. 5 yards inside the 5, down to the 4.
Great job by Bunkley, too. You know, he always talks about, you're not going to see me make sacks, but I'm supposed to collapse that pocket and take on as many blockers as I can. He did just that.
Sean Green in the backfield. It'll be first down all over again. First and goal from outside the 4.
Bunkley just came back this week, Joel, and he told us, I'm at a cool 347 pounds. Moves pretty good for 347 pounds. You know, he's played as high as 367 pounds, and that was in college. So we'll see how the big fella does here in his sophomore season.
And when we talk about Bunkley, let's not forget, we also brought up the depth of this team. John Jenkins in the lineup for the first time.
And Jenkins is the guy I'm talking about with the weight. I've got the two of them, Crixton Crocs there.
Well, Bunkley's a seasoned veteran. He knows his game and what his role is, and they're very similar.
Locker fade into the corner, and grab was there, Touchdown, Tennessee, and Justin Hunter. It looked like he held on to it. Whether or not he had both feet in is another story. He's in his second year from Tennessee, a second-round pick last year.
Well, he's matched up one-on-one with Corey White right here, and you, as a defender, you want to limit the options for the quarterback and the receiver.
Did he possess it when that first foot? We saw the second come down as well. That was really close. But still, great balancing act on the sideline in the corner of the end zone.
He likes it. He thinks it's good.
Fans don't.
No.
Every time they show the replay here
that's a no.
in the dome, it's a no.
And he was a big play receiver. He had a 20-yard average his rookie season on 18 grabs last year. So a talented young man, second-round pick. And the challenge. It'll be a timeout.
First charge, timeout, New Orleans.
Saints want to look at it a couple of times before the challenge. Does he possess it? We'll find out when we come back. They're still looking at that one with 5:02 to play in the first quarter. Good news, by the way, Saints fans. Sunday afternoon's 4 o'clock practice at the Saints training facility in Metairie. It is going to be the first of 7 scheduled open practices for the final 2 weeks of training camp. So come on out and see your Saints. They get ready for the regular season. Now, in the event of bad weather, 20% chance of rain, I know that on Sunday, it could result in moving it indoors. So please go to Saints.com, NewOrleansSaints.com, or the club's Twitter feed, at Saints, and Facebook page as well, for weather and schedule updates. And the extra point just inside the upright by Travis Coons. Talked about their battle. He's the rookie from Washington. So it is all even now. And Tennessee, after the penalty and the mark-off, it turned out to be a short field, taking over at their own 38. And they capitalize. Even at 7. In New Orleans, well, Drew Brees may be on the sideline, but he's making sure that the Ice Bucket Challenge is going strong and stronger than ever.
We thought, you know what, why not create a competition around this Naked Ice Bucket Challenge? Go.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, shit. Someone's back through.
Ryan Griffin, the winner. So now we challenge to the Naked Ice Bucket Challenge all the other quarterbacks in the NFC South.
Boom!
Falcons,
Do it.
Bucks, Panthers.
Do it.
You're on.
It just got real.
Is that great? That's all to advance and further the research for ALS, Team Gleason, and boy, for all the right reasons, isn't it?
That is it, boy. Although I'm pretty sure that Drew added an extra word in there. I've never heard Naked Ice Bucket Challenge, but hey, all right, let's go that way.
On first down, good run off the left side. Flag down on the play where you normally see a holding call. It's Kyrie Robinson across the 25.
I tell you what, though, you hit on it. What makes it so awesome is the reason behind it. You see these guys, and it's been across the league, getting behind this ALS awareness. And I don't think anyone's been more instrumental.
Holding. Offense. Number 65. 10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Right, for a cause than Steve Gleason and what they've done with Team Gleason. Not only raising awareness, but truly making a difference in such a nasty disease that affects people, and it's devastating. But with Team Gleason and what Steve's been able to do, it's really second to none.
There's the Rouse's scoring drive for Ken Whisenhunt in his first year as the Titans head coach. I want to get back to that thought, though, because they had one earlier in the week on NewOrleansSaints.com. And airing it out, Drew Brees looking downfield, flag, and a first down. Joe Morgan got all tangled up with the defensive back on that side.
Well, this is what Joe Morgan does best.
I said Brees. Luke, I was thinking of Drew Brees. McCown aired it out. Wishful thinking on my part.
That's it. It looked like Drew. It felt like Drew. Long ball down the sidelines from a Saints quarterback. But this is what you expect from Joe Morgan. He's coming off an injury from last season.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 30. Ball will be spotted at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
Joe Morgan, you see one-on-one. You talk to Saints players, and for the past few years, you see the contact from McCourty right there. But what Joe Morgan does is he stretches the field. He's one of the fastest guys in this league, and that's what he brings to the table.
And now he's got to stay healthy. Another one of those guys that Mickey Loomis came up with that wasn't drafted. And the receiver had to fall down on that play as McCown had nobody in the neighborhood. And let's head downstairs on the sideline with Mike Neighbors. Mike?
Joe, when you talk about Joe Morgan, they kind of had him one day on, one day off for a while, but last week he had a great week of practice at the Greenbrier, made a lot of plays. You know, he's one of those guys that will stay afterwards and sign autographs. That's because he grew up in Canton, Ohio, the home, of course, of the Hall of Fame, where as a youngster he loved getting autographs, where his favorite was Barry Sanders. Right now he's not worried about autographs, just worried about making this football team. Back to you guys.
Yeah, he's one of the 6. He's one of the top 6 receivers. I don't think there's any question about that. I mentioned Drew Brees throwing the football, even though he's not in the game, because he did something with Joe Vitt, associate head coach, and Rob Ryan earlier in the week on NewOrleansSaints.com, where they did the Ice Bucket Challenge. And Drew, before, while he slid and bouncing out, it's Kyrie Robinson. They get him from behind after a short game, but he slid along the ground like a kid. We used to play football. Whenever it rained, we wanted to play football because it was in the mud. And Drew looked like a little kid. He slid across in front of the coaches before he got doused. But both Joe and Rob, and it was great. I mean, it was, as we said, for the worthy cause. And great guys getting behind it.
It's always good to see the behind-the-scenes stuff. Take the helmet off and realize that these are kids at heart, and a little eager by Harris here. But for this ALS awareness, it brings life.
Offense, number 79, 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
To this organization, and it's something that folks around here in New Orleans and the surrounding area, they're passionate about. It's one of our own with Team Gleason and the awareness and movement that they're making.
Mickey Loomis was in the booth with us last week, and we talked about the way Drew Brees is just a generational player for this franchise. The way he's changed it all. McCown, too tall for Joe Morgan. So it's going to be a 3rd and long, and now a 4th down punt coming up. So McCown getting some pressure at the end of the play.
It's a line game. He's coming around. There's defensive end comes in. That seems pretty close to drawing a flag right there, especially when you talk about the safety of these quarterbacks, and it's directly in the middle of his back.
That's Derek Morgan, 5th year out of Georgia Tech, a guy that's had 12.5 sacks over the last 2 seasons. Mariani waits for the punt from Morstead. Great hang time. And Mariani making a miss. Nagged, though, across the 20. Outstanding play by Kyle Knox on special teams. Well, tonight's conditions inside and outside the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. All brought to you by Rouse's. Pretty night in the Crescent City. So a 52-yard punt. And Morstead was phenomenal last week in St. Louis as well. We didn't have a chance to talk about him, but the hang time, the distance, the returns weren't there.
He is special. That's why he named himself the leg, because he keeps booting it. But great job by those gunners getting down and not giving the returner a lot of space. And then Kyle Knox, a guy who's made a lot of special teams plays, shows up again.
Locker in for his 2nd series, this time from the 21. And running back tried to cut it, Sean Green. He was just buried by Bunkley. Boy, try to run through that man. Little leverage downstairs for Bunkley. So Green maybe a yard at the most on 1st and 10. So the Saints coming off a 2-point win. Let's see if the defense gets their footing now after a short field and a really efficient one for Tennessee. I mean, they moved right down the field. 6 plays, 62 yards in 3 minutes, a little more than 3 minutes. Locker looking to right side. And Wright was on that side. It's taken in by his running mate, or his wide receiver mate, to the 35. And it's complete on that side to Nate Washington.
Well, Saints are going to bring Corey White off the slot right here. It's picked up, giving Locker some space, and that's in front of Keenan Lewis, who makes the play and gets a little help at the end by Curtis Lofton and cleans it up.
There's another guy that wasn't drafted. This time by Tennessee, his 7th year with the Titans. And coming off an exceptional season. Slide the tight end Walker over to the wide side of the field where they run the football. Little lane, and Green Diving ahead for about 5. He was tripped up by Humber, the inside backer. But still good yardage on first down once again for Tennessee. So Tennessee, it's starting fresh with Ken Wisenhunt, who, don't forget, has had success before with quarterbacks, whether when he was working in Baltimore and then moved on, and then Arizona with Kurt Warner kind of resurrecting things there. Dexter McCluster has taken over in the backfield. And a little flare. It's McCluster. You've got to account for him as a receiver more than a runner. When he's in the backfield, he gets 4. It'll bring up 3rd and 1.
Well, he's a space player, and that's what Tennessee's looking to get out of him is swing him out in swing routes, get him the ball open into open field space, similar in fashion to what the Saints have done with Darren Sproles in years past, and potentially a role that maybe Cadet could fill or Brandon Cooks.
When I talked about Wisenhunt, I was actually Pittsburgh. It was Roethlisberger with Pittsburgh that he was there. And then don't forget what he did last year with Phillip Rivers. A year removed from that head coaching job. Rivers had a bounce-back year for San Diego. Penetration into the backfield, nice adjustment at a first down by the running back, Sean Green, as it looked like the penetration was going to get him short of the first down. He's got it by about a half a yard. Tennessee is starting over. We talked about the long, dry spell for them. Mike Munchak, their head coach the previous 3 seasons. Wisenhunt had a long run in Arizona. And don't forget, all he did was get the Cardinals to the Super Bowl for the first time in franchise history.
Don't get any points for that, I guess. If you, in this league, it's what have you done for me lately, and they'll move on from you.
So first down, final 10 seconds of the quarter. And at the start of the second quarter, Sean Kelly is going to be visiting owner Tom Benson. Timeout was called by Tennessee.
First charge timeout, Tennessee. This is a 30-second timeout.
I want to remind you, you can reach out and questions for John Stinchcomb in particular. Ask the expert.
Oh.
Come on now.
Put me on the spot, Joel.
Stump the expert. Slidell Memorial Hospital is powering the CST Twitter account tonight. So tweet your questions to John. Also, Victor Howell is going to be commenting. He'll take on those questions as well on our Twitter page from the Louisiana Cat Studio. And it's at Cox Sports TV. And it's all powered by Slidell Memorial. So at Cox Sports TV. And get your questions in for John Stinchcomb. I put it all on you. You like that?
Thank you. Yes. No pressure.
It'll be a first down from the 45. Second offensive series for Tennessee. Deep set, and it's going to be the first carry from McCluster. I mentioned he likes to catch the football. No gain on the carry, and Curtis Lofton just shot through. So Lofton with the solo stop, and that'll do it for the opening 15 minutes of play. 1 for 2 for the Saints on their drives. It's even at 7, and Tom Benson is coming up next to join us at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans.
Start the second quarter here at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome as the Titans and the Saints are all locked up. It's been a pleasure so far to be watching the football game so far with Saints owner and chairman of the board, Mr. Tom Benson. Mr. Benson, it's exciting to be home. I'm anxious for your thoughts on the football season here for the Saints.
Well, I tell you what, both sides are playing pretty good football right now. It's been an exciting game. It doesn't even look like a preseason game. It's really been very exciting, but we're going to win this one. I can feel it.
I love it. You know, it's interesting. The Saints just got back home from training camp at the Greenbrier. Mr. Benson, what did you think of the Saints training up in West Virginia?
I think we want to go back. The weather couldn't have been any better, you know, and I think we got a lot of good out of it.
A lot of fans are wanting to know how you're doing. Are you feeling very well?
Oh, yeah, I'm feeling fine. You know, altitude bothers me a little bit. I got to be smart about it when maybe go up there for about 2 or 3 weeks and come back and then go back again.
Has there been a player or two that's excited you during training camp so far?
No, I tell you what, the whole team's excited me. Really, it is. It's just I was really impressed how hard these guys were working, and that what a great ball club we got. Jeez, and what the attitudes and feelings are just tremendous.
The attitude and feeling not only of the team but of the fans too. They've been anxious to see their football club again, Mr. Benson.
Oh, I think it's all part of it. You know that the fans, and it starts with the players and the coaches, and then then the fans picked that up, and boy, that's what's happening.
Mr. Benson, thank you. It's good to see you and your lovely wife back in your seats here at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome.
Yeah, thank you.
Mr. and Mrs. Tom Benson here in their suite enjoying the first preseason game. So far, so good, says Mr. Benson. Joel, John, back to you.
All right, Sean, thank you. And good to see Mr. Benson happy and healthy here at the Dome tonight. Mark off of 10 yards on the holding call. Too much time and batted down. Bunkley read it, got it. What is his vertical?
A sheet of paper.
Our first quarter micrographed hair restoration.com numbers. And both teams moving the football. Series for the Saints and then shut down 3 and out in the second. Titan fans have to be happy, though, with what they've seen from Jake Locker. And we talk about Mark Ingram, a contract year. That's exactly the same situation for Jake Locker. He's got Green as a single to the backfield. Pocket holds up with another flag, and then it evaporates. Cam Jordan thought he had him. And the throw, another dart, and a completion to the tight end, Delaney Walker, who hangs on this time.
There's a couple flags on this play, but that's Cam Jordan picking up where he left off last year. He's a playmaker. Couldn't finish off Locker, but rounds that edge, and you know he's really developed as a player. Each year he seems to get stronger and more technically sound with how he plays the position. So no question as to why he deserved that a Pro Bowl bid last year.
And let's not forget with Cam Jordan, he just turned 25.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both by the defense. Offside. Number 93 lined up in the neutral zone. That penalty is declined. Illegal contact. Number 28. That penalty is accepted. 5 yards from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
So it's on Keenan Lewis. Go back to the previous spot. Mark off 5 and an automatic first down. So they'll be back at the 39. Not the yardage on the Walker reception.
That's frustrating. You go from second and extremely long to a 5-yard penalty that gives the opponent a instant first down.
Started back at Tennessee's 21-yard line. Now at the Saints' 39. Empty backfield for Locker. And scrambling. Good job to get out of the pocket, showing his athleticism for a guy that's 6'3", 225. Had a good scramble.
Another 3-man rush from the New Orleans Saints front. You got Junior Gillette dropping into coverage. But really, he's got time. Locker's got time. It's just the coverage that he's got nowhere to go with the ball.
Junior Gillette tracks him down. Resourceful Jake Locker. Getting ready for his 4th season out of the University of Washington. And he got 7 on the scramble. And Green, once again, the only one in the backfield. They slide the tight end. And a little counter action. Close to the marker. May have to measure this one. On the gain of about 3, he's put down by Bunkley and Lofton. Well, Pelicans head coach Monty Williams, Anthony Davis, and your pals ready to go. And I mean, they have been working this offseason. Variety of ticket packages, and now the schedule is finally out, so you can pick and choose. So call 504-525-HOOP. Join your Pelicans. Ticket plan starting as low as $185. 3rd and less than a yard. That's 504-525-HOOP. Battles the fullback in the eye. They've got plenty for the first down. Down to the 28.
Joel, you mentioned Jake Locker's time as a Washington Husky. You know, when he was at Washington, he had to do everything. It was almost like Locker and then the Huskies. They're saying now in Nashville that one of the things that Locker needs to continue to learn to do is let others help him a little bit. He doesn't have to do everything all the time.
And last year before he went down, it was the most effective season of his young career. And we're also talking about a guy that, don't forget, is really talented. Selected twice by the Angels in the baseball draft out of high school, 40th round. And then, even though he was going to play in the NFL, he was taken 10th round in the draft once again by the Angels.
That's a heck of a testament to his athleticism.
So a young man who we just saw, he can scramble and get away. And now he's got a guy that's tutored some very good quarterbacks and coached him up in Ken Wisenhunt. It's at the 28 on a 1st and 10. With more than 3 minutes gone by in the second 15. McCluster account for him once again. They go away and right into the hands, and there's going to be a reception. Should have been a pick. Right through the hands of Corey White.
Another three-man rush from the New Orleans Saints. There's no one really close to threaten anything other than a three-man rush. And Corey White's right here to make a play. The emphasis this preseason's been on turnovers for the New Orleans Saints defense. Prime opportunity missed right here. Ends up as a catch for the Titans.
It's a gift to Kendall Wright, former Baylor Bear who owns all the receiving records under Art Briles' program.
I don't want to be too hard on Corey White there. That's a tough ball to come down with.
Second, less than 2. Locker again. Up for grabs and batted away by Corey White that time. Kendall Wright was looking for it in the corner.
One thing I love here is Raphael Bush comes to help him over the top. That allows Corey White to be a little more aggressive on the football, Stench.
Well, Jake Locker extends the play again, but Corey White's in great position. He's got over-the-top help from Bush. Really, it's a close play. Locker puts in a position for his receiver to come down with it, and it's just Corey White making the play, making the leap to prevent the reception for a touchdown.
Yeah, they're 2 of 2 on this drive on third downs. Here they convert once again on third and less than 2. Pressure up the gut. Good night. Off the edge, Junior Gillette.
The man he beats is Roos, who's got himself a little hot breath coming down the back of his neck with Tyler Lewan, the draft choice, coming up behind him.
Well, Junior Gillette's done nothing but improve. He's matched up one-on-one right there at the top of your screen with Roos, a proven veteran. He just bull rushes him back, comes underneath. It's the quickest path to the quarterback.
Field goal try coming up for Travis Coons. It'll be a 45-yard attempt as Tennessee looks for their first lead of the contest. And with a flag down to the play, Coons has it easily. So we've seen a number of flags. It was a pretty clean game in St. Louis until late.
Illegal formation. Offense. Number 97 was lined up in the backfield. That's a 5-yard penalty. Replay 4th down.
Take 3 off the board for Tennessee. Carl Klug.
If you look right here, this tight end is just far enough back where he's not breaking the belt line of the center. That's the rule. The helmet has to at least break the belt line of the center. He's in the backfield, not enough men on the line of scrimmage, and you back it up. So you go from a 3rd and 1 inside the 20, and now you're positioned on the 32 for a field goal, a 50-yard field goal.
Right, it had been a 45-yarder. It'll be a 50-yard attempt out of the hold of punter Brett Kern. Once again, Coombs, the rookie, trying to make the squad out of Washington undrafted. And the line drive inside the upright. Klug, the happiest man in the building right now. So the first lead of the contest as Tennessee 2 for 2 points on both their possessions despite the good play of Junior Gillette. After the 50-yard field goal with our Window World Sideline Report, we check in with JD John DeShazer once again. John.
Well, Joel, you guys probably noticed Keenan Lewis isn't on the field, got escorted to the locker room. We're seeing a lot more of rookie cornerback Stanley Jean-Baptiste at left corner right now. He's getting a lot of run. Coaches have coached him really hard in the training camp. They're trying to get him up to speed. He's getting more trial by fire tonight than he has this entire preseason. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, John. Kicking it away for the Titans, it's going to be Bonani, not the guy who just hit the 50-yarder. And he'll keep it away from Traveris Cadet. So the Saints get it for the 3rd time when we come back, and all 3 times at their own 20-yard line, trailing for the first time of the contest. And let's see if it's going to be Luke McCown. It will be at quarterback once again.
Back to the Superdome, everyone. The Titans take the first lead of the game, 10-7. You know, the Saints returning from West Virginia. They've been there the last 3 weeks at training camp like no other. Great temperatures, great picturesque views, but despite all the weather, they got a lot more work done. Of course, less water breaks, a lot of productivity. I'm amazed, though, with Sean Payton's record without an indoor facility. John Stenchcomb can attest to this. In Jackson, it didn't rain much, and they didn't have an indoor facility. in the Greenbrier, Sean Payton and the Saints were only rained on twice in 15 practices. In one of the practices, it didn't rain until practice was over. So I'm going to check with Sean Payton at my next golf date. Back up to you guys.
Good call. I like his priorities. Mike, all he wants to know is, can I play 18? On first down, McCown out of the pocket. Man, coming back on it. It's taken in by Meacham.
Joe, one of our things to watch tonight was how Luke McCown and Ryan Griffin would use tonight as a part of their bid to become the number 2 quarterback. So far, McCown's 7 of 13, and now is over 65 yards here in the first half.
He wasn't on the field all that long stint in the first game. Bulk of it went to Ryan Griffin, and Sean just talked about it. He was 7 of 10, and a lot of people saw that pick. Well, it was a busted play all the way around. Here's Ingram. Not much of a lane over to the right side. Gets about 2. But now, to find your rhythm, you need some serious, and McCown's getting it.
Well, I think that's their approach. His last game, Ryan Griffin had the opportunity to really put on display how he would manage a game, and now it's Luke McCown's turn. He's a proven veteran who's been in this league a number of years, and last week against St. Louis, really, I credit Chris Long for making an extraordinary play more than Luke McCown making a mistake. So far, he's played a clean game, moved the pocket. They've moved the pocket for him a few times. You see him setting up a screen right here to Pierre Thomas. And Pierre, this is what he does well.
And yards after contact. He doesn't get the first down unless he gives the extra effort, because they got him about 3 shy, and he took him across all the way to the 45.
I can honestly say I don't ever remember seeing Pierre being brought down from the first tackler. Screen game. This is where he makes his bread and butter. It takes 3 to get him down. He's one of those runners that he's got shifty hips, and it's hard to bring him down with the first tackler.
8 years undrafted. Looking, and there's going to be a holding call coming up. Thomas scrambles for about 3 or 4, but it's going to be coming back. Michael Griffin on the stop, the free safety.
Offense, number 51. That's a 10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
In the first game, we didn't have any penalties until the last 5 minutes of the half. Tonight, too many, too soon.
I agree, and it's on both sides of the football. Back to Thomas. Guys, 1 week ago tonight, he was back at the Greenbrier with the other players that did not travel to the Rams game, watching the ball game on a satellite feed, and watching Mark Ingram have himself a night. I think he's trying to make a statement of his own with the way that he's used his hands and his feet so far.
Short tide, toss sweep, Kyrie Robinson. Man, showing some patience and waiting for Armstead to get out and lead the way on the block, and he got about 8.
Well, this is what they love so much about this left tackle. Armstead gets out in space. Very rarely do you see a man his size. They like him. He runs a 4.7 at the combine. Get him out in space. Let him get in front of a running back. You see the down block by the receiver. You're going to see a down block here. He's going to come around and get him out in space. Jimmy Graham, down block. Teron Armstead in space. Passes up 1. He's trying to get to 2 or 3 levels down the field. That's why when they talk about his athleticism, plays like this highlight how he can move.
So Jimmy Graham can't block, huh?
And now the catch, Graham making a miss. So Jimmy Graham takes it close to the midfield stripe. We didn't talk about Armstead last week that much. He went home to St. Louis just like Jarris Bird, and Armstead grew up there. Bird was only there for a short window when his dad, Gil, was the assistant coach with the Rams, but Armstead grew up across the river in Cahokia, Illinois.
It always means something to a player when they come home and get to play in front of their own people, the families and schools that you played against, and it's special for every guy.
Third down as the Saints converted early on their third down tries. Now McCown needs 5, and looking in the direction, Jimmy Graham just throws the defensive back off him. They were all tangled up. So he was working against Tommy Campbell, 7th rounder in 2011 in his 4th year. Maybe a little bit too demonstrative that time.
Well, there's a lot of yellow out there.
Yeah. A replay will show us everything here.
Pass interference. Offense, number 80. 10-yard penalty. Replay third down.
So that's 7 penalties, 61 yards at Markov's.
But you can see they line up Jimmy Graham at the top of the screen. They're going to move him around. I guess this is where the argument came in this offseason as to whether he's a tight end or a wide receiver. That's the wide receiver position right there, Joel. But maybe a little extra handsy out there, especially against a smaller cornerback. It definitely shows up a lot more than whether that's a linebacker he's pushing on.
Cooks, the slot man, underneath. Thomas bobbles. It cost him. And it was a little bit behind him as well. So not an opportunity to really succeed after the grab. We have not seen Cooks featured. They really targeted Cooks last week in the first half. Brandon Cooks has had many thrown in his direction so far tonight. He made a sweet grab on the sideline. I mean, we saw his finger control because it was right on the sideline, and he brought it in. Now, Armstead and the offense leave. It'll be Morstead coming in. And back deep, Mariani again. Against the Saints. And that's kind of the story.
Ball start. Offense. Number 89. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
I can assure you at halftime there's going to be some harsh words shared with the New Orleans Saints from the coaching staff. It's a major emphasis to play clean, less penalties, and pre-snap is something that's been a point of emphasis.
Josh Hill lost his balance.
It's hard to keep your balance when someone pushes you from the side. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Highwood with another flag down to the play. Back to the original line of scrimmage. Good hang time by Morstead. It's down and caught inside the 20 by Mariani. At about the 17. .558 to play in the half.
During the kick, holding. Receiving team, number 44. Half the distance from the end of the kick. Tennessee's ball, 1st down.
Tennessee's got it when we come back. 3rd series for Whisenhunt. And they lead by 3. The scoring play for the Saints, it came early. 80-yard drive and number 80 on the receiving end. With the 4th round pick of the Saints, all of a sudden pulled up. Unfortunately, I say, because it looks like maybe a hamstring.
That's what it looks like to me. When you're running full speed, especially on these punt coverages, he grabs it and goes down. That's a tough break for a young player, drafted player that's trying to make this roster.
43-yard punt with no return. And Tennessee gets it back outside of their own 8. Charlie Whiter's taken over the veteran quarterback in his 9th year out of Clemson. Man, good crease over to the right side. Curtis Lofton will get him at the end of the play on a holding call coming up. And let's see if it is a hold. No, it may be on the Saints again.
Illegal hands to the face. Defense, number 77. 5-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
Bunkley with a nose tackle on the infraction. So that's 10 penalties. And you said it. Sean Payton's going to have plenty to say.
There is no question about that. This halftime, at halftime, the players are definitely going to hear that you got to play clean ball. This is Bunkley in the middle. A point of emphasis for the referees this year is going to be hands to the face on both sides of the ball, offense and defense. You can see the rub block. He gets high on the center with that right hand, and they're going to call it.
So 1st down outside of the 20 for Sean Green. And again, with a flag down to the ball. Coming out, and the Saints pick it up. Sean Green had it stripped away, fighting for extra yardage. It's Raphael Bush. There was a flag, and now another flag. So 1 at the 20, 1 at about close to the 40.
Hicks got called earlier, and it may be him again, Joel.
There's a player down, too.
And Sean Green, a running back. Again, he had good yardage.
Looking back, you see the offensive line for Tennessee Titans does a really good job of getting a hat on a hat. It might be a hold, the center pulling down Ramon Humber right there, but correct me if I'm wrong, but is that Kenny Vaccaro dislodging the ball again?
Yeah, around the collar. It looked like Green was trying to avoid the contact.
Rolling on the field is a fumble recovered by New Orleans. During the run, holding, offense number 70. That penalty is declined. After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Offense number 77. That penalty will be accepted. 15 yards from the end of the play, New Orleans ball, 1st down.
That penalty was on their 1st round pick out of Michigan, 11th overall. Taylor Lewan is battling for the starting left tackle spot, but Vaccaro, as you mentioned, forces a fumble again for the Saints, and they've got it. Vaccaro, once again the catalyst, the 23-year-old from Brownswood, Texas, making the play, and the Saints now in great shape. Down by 3. Well, coming up after the game tonight from the Dome, it is the Louisiana Cats studio with a breakdown of the game. Paul Crane, Victor Howell, Deuce McAllister, along with Mike Neighbors, heading to the locker room, bring you interviews from all the Saints players. Exclusive one-on-one with Drew Brees after the game as well. That's Saints tonight, right after the game only on CST. So the Saints, for the 4th consecutive time, start with the football at the 20. Difference, it's Tennessee's 20, not their own 20 for the first time. So Luke McCown staying in there at quarterback. He's 10 of 16 for 92. On the flare, Kyrie Robinson. Man, looked like it was going to be a great open field tackle by the backer. Instead, Robinson gets away from the ankle tackle, and he takes it for about 5, almost 6 on first down.
If you go back to the last play on defense, you can see where Kenny Vaccaro lines up on the outside edge away from where the play goes. He tracks it down. This is a playmaker making a play. He finds his way to the ball and then punches the ball out of Sean Green's arms to create a turnover, a major point of emphasis for this defense. Joel, we talked about it in the timeout. Kenny Vaccaro does not look like a second-year player. His presence on the field.
He just carries himself differently.
Yes.
And that's why I made mention of
5-yard penalty.
his age. And I had him a bunch, because doing the Big 12, I had him a bunch at the University of Texas. And he was a playmaker there. Big-time playmaker.
Well, from day one when he walks in, and there's a number of articles written about him and how he played with spirit, would you say, Sean?
I think that's probably the way to go, and maybe a little untamed at times.
After the mark-off, it falls incomplete in the direction of Jimmy Graham. And by the way, the Saints are in the slap your mama Cajun seasoning red zone once again. Capitalized the last time, and Jimmy Graham on the receiving end. Downstairs we go to John DeShazer. John.
Guys, these penalties are probably driving Coach Sean Payton nuts. He had 5 last week at halftime. That didn't please him. 10 overall in the game. Right now they have 11 in this game. Had 10 all of last week in that game.
Out of the gun, McCown for Graham. He's got it. Touchdown Saints.
In a crowd, too, and there's another dunk and more flags. The reverse jam on that one, Joel Myers.
It was nice. He had good ups.
Don't ask Sean Payton how he feels about that one either. I mean, this won't obviously happen during the regular season.
The touchdown. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct by the offense, number 80. That 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
And quite a throw, as you mentioned, Sean, with about 3 guys around him, but he led him.
Well-placed ball by McCown.
Dimke, as the Saints have regained the lead, in for the extra point. Remember, we talked about it a lot last week, the extra point experiment this year from 33, and holds up well. Looked like it was going to be a hook off the foot, but it was dead solid perfect.
And this is a real battle right now between Dimke and Graham that's going to carry over another week at least in training camp, Joel.
Graham, the veteran, and coming full circle, because don't forget, back in 2000, he originally signed into the league as a undrafted free agent with the Saints. Didn't stick, but that was his first pro contract.
And right now, as we see the scoring drive going just the 3 plays in the short field, guys, I'm going to throw this question out there to you both. With the new emphasis on contact, is there anyone that can truly cover Jimmy Graham once he gets past 5 yards? I'm just throwing it out there at the moment. With the way the rules now are stated,
it's going to be a lot harder. You got to be physical with those big guys. Seattle's made an emphasis of it, of playing physical with guys. You look at Jimmy Graham, he's lined up right there on the hash mark. They're going to bracket him. You have over-the-top help from the safety. The linebacker's in good position, but if you can't body up a man of Jimmy Graham's size, it makes it really hard for that secondary and linebackers in space to limit the amount of plays that Jimmy Graham and other tight ends with a big frame and know how to use it. how you stop them is going to be something that keeps defensive coordinators up at night.
Dimke will bring it from the 8. And an alley over to the left side with a good block. He's got great yardage. And with the flag, fortunately for the Saints, down the play. We normally see an illegal block on a return. We just saw a Rouse's scoring drive. It didn't take long. It was 3 plays, 20 yards because of the play made by Kenny Vaccaro. And the recovery by Raphael Bush. That's a real break for the Saints. The flag the other way.
During the return, holding, return team, number 57. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Tennessee keeps the ball. First down.
Patrick Bailey, a 7th-year guy out of Duke, who was actually one of their best special teams players last year for the Tennessee Titans. But it's a new head coach. It's a new staff. So everybody's trying to impress Ken Wisenhunt and his coordinators.
You saw just at the edge of your screen a little grab, a little pull from that jersey. In space with that many refs watching, it's tough to get away with anything. But you look at this defense, and Vaccaro's created 2 turnovers. That's your positive. But getting off of blocks and stopping drives and not letting Tennessee Titans run the ball effectively is something that the Saints can really pick up.
It'll be at the 26. Charlie Whitehurst's second series really wasn't on the field that long. And the ball was fumbled away. Blitz off the edge, and he is gone.
Kenny Vaccaro again.
Vaccaro is just a playmaker. And we talk about accounting for Jimmy Graham. They better find out where this guy is setting up defensively.
They absolutely do, Joel, but if you don't block him and you don't account for him with a hot route, I'm not sure what your 40 time is, but given that you're unblocked, you'd have a much better shot, especially from a quarterback's blind side.
It's a loss of 11. Timeout is taken. And they're going to look at the quarterback as his helmet is off and he's on his way to the sideline. Downstairs once again we go, this time to Mike Neighbors. Mike.
Thank you very much, Joel. I know John Stinchcomb is the biggest fan of our segment on CoxSportsTV.com. Every week during training camp, word on the street. And I relayed those comments to Zach Streif, and here's what he had to say, John.
Last year, when you asked me about John and something he said, and I made a joke and then said a bunch of nice stuff about John, we left all the nice stuff out and just left me making a bad comment. So,
John, you blaming Breeze, I blame that on the producers.
Exactly. Yeah. No. You can blame the last year's on the producers, but I'm not falling for it again. I think John has many lines saved up for me for the second and fourth preseason game. So I'm just going to say John's a great guy. He's done a great job as a broadcaster and as a player and a mentor.
There you go, guys. Equal time for Zach Streif. And the box set will be available after training camp, and John Stinchcomb can't wait to purchase that.
Nope, too late, Zach. That bridge has been burned, partner. Despite the fact that I opened my house to him 2 weeks every offseason, he badmouths me, and I'm like an elephant. I don't forget.
Defense, number 55.
He's like an elephant. He eats like one. I mean, there's similarities.
An automatic first down.
That snap was, by the way, second and 21. So the battle will continue between Streif and Stinchcomb.
It will. It rages on. What's nice is that I've got a microphone in front of me every time he takes the field for this preseason. And
does he always look that surly on the sideline?
He shouldn't. He played one series and got to rest. He got the veteran card treatment.
So an automatic first down. And that was another penalty that Sean Payton is really going to dislike, along with Rob Ryan, because it was second and 21. Now it's first and 10 from the 20. And they could have gotten the ball back with plenty of time. On the back shoulder route, the grab is made. An alert play again by Justin Hunter. As Hunter's got their touchdown grab, there's a flag again. Boy, we have seen a lot.
And a nice throw from the former LSU Tigers at Mettenberger, who comes in earlier than scheduled.
Yeah, he was supposed to come in the third. And because of the hit on Whitehurst, Mettenberger, who was efficient last week, he hit, on the game-winning drive in particular, had back-to-back passes of 36 and 28 yards. So Mettenberger has taken over. He had that one little dump off.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both by the defense. Illegal hands to the face, number 24. Illegal hands to the face, number 77. Both penalties are declined. Result of the play is a first down.
They're jumping all over this point of emphasis here that we talked about last week, Stinch, and then again tonight. About anybody is now available to be flagged for contact to the neck, head, face, anywhere above those shoulders.
It's going to change the play for offensive and defensive linemen. There's, it happens. Your hands slide up, especially for defenders that play with leverage. What starts in the shoulder pad slides up to the head and neck. Now, as an offensive player, you like to see the change, but I think you're going to see that call a lot more.
Yeah, there's a hold and easy call. Mettenberger out of the pocket. There's great pressure by Cam Jordan. They had him up around even for the face mask on the hold.
Cam Jordan shortens that edge. Tackles left with limited options end up holding, but that's really all predicated on Cam Jordan using his power and his speed to.
Personal foul, face mask, offense number 77, 15-yard penalty, replay second down.
That's a tough assignment. I don't care if you were two-time Big Ten Offensive Lineman of the Year, like Lewan was.
He gets a great jump on the ball. You see that's an easy call. If he doesn't put his big paw on Cam Jordan's face mask, it's an easy sack for Jordan.
Real opportunity for Mettenberger in Tennessee as they took him in the 6th round. He slides his wideout, Rubisky in motion. And looks for him. He'll be put down and out of bounds by White at about the 36. But our Louisiana Cat halftime studio is coming up with Victor and the guys. Back to Mettenberger. Locker a contract here. Now, Locker was efficient. 8 of 11, 75 yards with a score. But everything I've heard, and I talked to a couple of people from Tennessee before the game, they like what they've seen from the young man. And he hits him over the middle. Will anybody get Justin Hunter? No. And another touchdown for Hunter and Tennessee on a bullet from Mettenberger.
That's a big league throw by Mettenberger. John DeShazer and I were on the sidelines at 4 o'clock this afternoon watching Mettenberger throw. He was throwing 75 yards with ease. And here, with all the time in the world, Stinch, he lights it up down the middle.
Well, I don't know what happens to Wade right there, but gets tripped up, crossing route. No one's going to catch Kendall once he gets the ball in that much space that far down the field.
So the touchdown, 64 yards. In for the point after, Benani. So the Titans have regained the lead. 2 timeouts for the Saints, and you look into the clock, plenty of time to get back on the board. The offense back on the field. Benani with the 33-yard extra point makes it a 3-point lead. So Justin Hunter with his second touchdown of the game. 17-14. Tennessee. Well, we welcome the start of the football season with the Saints kickoff run, all presented by Chevron. It's a family-friendly 5K event on Saturday the 6th. So Saturday, September 6th. It starts in Champion Square, follows a downtown route where runners finish on the 50-yard line right here in the Superdome. And the new elements this year, a corporate cup challenge for the largest team, a costume contest, half-mile, play 60, fun run for the kids, and all the proceeds benefiting the New Orleans Recreation Development Commission and Louisiana Children's Museum. Registration for the Saints kickoff run, it is now open at saints5k.com.
Here's your matchup. It's Kendall Wright lined up. You can see it's blanket coverage, one deep safety over the top. But as it opens up, their feet cross. Trevin Wade is the cornerback trying to cover, and he slips and falls down. And once that occurs, it's nothing but finishing the route for Kendall Wright for a touchdown.
So very impressive on a 4-play drive. And we said everything we heard from their people, their personnel, and the staff that we have talked with before the game tonight. They like what they see. Cadet out of the end zone, off balance, and across the 20, out to the 21. So a long field coming up for the Saints. Only down 3. Stafford in on the stop. Well, college football fans, you don't have to miss a snap of SEC football. SEC Network with Cox. It comes your way. It's now available on Cox Advanced TV. Watch 45 live exclusive SEC football games this year on the SEC networks. From the 21, Kyrie Robinson, or check that. Ryan Griffin has taken over. It is going to be Mark Ingram on the carry. And he's got it out to the 25 for a gain of about 4. So Griffin coming off a very, very efficient game last week. We talked about it in St. Louis where he's 16 of 23 for 179. The quarterback rating, you know it better than I, 107. So they all compare numbers like that. Griffin and got hit, and it fluttered out of his hand as he released it, bringing up a 3rd down. So we have reached the 2-minute warning with a $1:59 left in the half. And too many penalties. That's the story right now for the Saints, trailing by 3. About 6, Sean Payton back with the Saints, back for the first time in a long time, and discussed the situation, finally coming home.
You know, as a coach, your concerns are making sure everyone knows where to park and how to get to the stadium on time. But I think by and large, it's that time in training camp where everyone is looking forward to seeing their families and playing in front of the fans.
Yeah, they're back home, but it's not exactly the boot camps that you guys knew before.
They weren't roughing it, Joel. The Greenbrier is not all that tough.
Well, Sean was there.
It was interesting on Wednesday as they went through their last full day of workouts. The Saints were reflecting on how wonderful the time was at the Greenbrier and really how successful it was. And it was this mixed emotion of leaving that setup, but yet wanting to be back home, wanting to be back in front of the Houdat Nation and with their family, especially all the guys who have young kids.
Drew Brees, sunflower seeds on the sideline. 3rd and 6. Saints 5 for 7 on the 3rd down try so far in the half. Pocket holds up. And now going for the bundle. He's got Morgan. Great grab. All the way down to the 30. Hasn't been touched. First down to the 22. What a play by Joe Morgan.
And what a throw. Griffin, just like last week on the touchdown strike to Cooks, holds true in the pocket as he knows he's about to take a lick.
Well, it takes Griffin that extra count, and the offensive line holds up just long enough, but they're closing in on him. Joe Morgan, what's he bring to the table? A field stretcher. Makes a big play down the field.
And underneath, Mark Ingram with some space. Look out, he's in. Touchdown Saints.
Of all the negative things that were going to be talked about in the halftime locker room, this under 2 minutes left in the half is a huge lift to the spirits, not only of the fans, but the players too themselves.
Yeah, after all the penalties, and we've talked about it, 13 for 111 yards, go figure. They got a chance to go to the locker room with a lead. So the big plays, 2 TDs for Jimmy Graham, and now Mark Ingram, who was outstanding last week in St. Louis. Good moves after the catch. Dimke, extra point try. And a 4-point lead for the Saints. Didn't take long to cover 79 yards, did it? 4 plays. 106, or a minute 16.
Well, you see Mark Ingram, that's way too much space for a playmaker of his ability. Makes one miss, finds the end zone. Mark Ingram maximizing his opportunities. He did it preseason game number 1. He has time to turn around and put a move on a safety. Boy, that's a tough lot for a safety in space against Mark Ingram. So you see he's lined up right here. It's a simple route. It's an angle route inside in front of the safety, but the linebackers vacate the space because they're on a blitz. You look, there's not a defender. That's your shell. They're rushed out. That safety has to run up and make a tackle on Mark Ingram. All alone, one-on-one, it's not going to happen.
Bad time to call a blitz.
Ooh.
Take me through Ryan Griffin's thought process on that play because it happened so fast. You want to say Ingram must have been the primary read, but is it a picking up of a blitz that's more important here?
No, I think what Ryan Griffin does, he recognizes that both inside linebackers are blitzing, vacating a space for Mark Ingram. The routes would predicate, if the linebackers don't blitz, Mark Ingram's probably a safety valve, but because they vacate the space, Ryan Griffin drifted back in the pocket, creating some space and giving Mark Ingram time to run that route so he can find him.
Now is our extensive Rouse's scoring drive. Dimke again. And that's more like it because he's kicking from where he normally kicks from. Mariani with a good return again. And he's been their guy for the last few seasons on kick and punt returns. He's got it out close to the 30, give him the 29. Let's head back downstairs, join John DeShazer. John?
Hey, thanks, Joel. I think you saw in that touchdown play the work that Mark Ingram has put in on his receiving. That pass was a little bit behind him. It was a hands catch. That's the work he's been putting in. That will keep him on the field being a multi-purpose back. Last year when he was on the field, you pretty much knew he was out there to run the football. Now if he can do the pass and the run, he can stay on the field longer.
Absolutely, John, with our Window World sideline report. We talk about guys, touches, Brandon Cooks in space. Let's not forget about the playmaking ability of a former Heisman Trophy winner.
Well, he's just completing his game.
In timeout.
He's shown that he's very capable rushing between the tackles and in space now. He's now staking a claim to, hey, I can catch passes too. I can be your screen guy and your third down back release player. So Mark Ingram's really shown this camp and so far this preseason that he's an all-around back, capable of performing, not only in base offense but also in their some of their sub packages.
Unfortunately, Preston was shaken up on the play. It's cost Tennessee, though, one of their timeouts. And there's not much left in the half, so we'll see if that comes into play. Our closed captioning this evening all provided by Louisiana Cat. The Titans and Mettenberger will have it at the 29-yard line. And it is going to be the rookie from LSU. Whitehurst is not coming back at least this half. Locker started and looked good. And if you joined us a little bit late, so did Luke McCown for the Saints. 12 of 19 for 117 yards, 2 touchdown tosses. And he obviously is a very intelligent guy because both were Jimmy Graham.
Well, that second touchdown pass to Jimmy Graham, Sean hit on it. That's a well-placed ball. You had linebacker underneath, safety over the top.
Tennessee is not charged with the timeout due to the change of possession. Tennessee has 2 timeouts remaining.
So they still have 2 on the board. Leon Washington in the backfield. You see their second-round pick out of Washington, Bishop Sankey, in the second half. Man, put up the grabs, boy. It was almost like it was thrown to the defensive back instead on the break by Jean-Baptiste, the second-round pick of the Saints out of Nebraska. He was right there.
Jean-Baptiste has had a very up-and-down first NFL training camp. This would have been a huge lift for him if he was to come up with a turnover here. Keep this in mind as we evaluate Jean-Baptiste as a young Saint. He is a former wide receiver, Joel, who's still learning this position. It's barely been taught to him, not only in Nebraska, but obviously here.
He's in the middle of a learning curve. Boy, that's
absolutely.
The good news for him is he's surrounded by a lot of veteran players that can do nothing but pour into him and teach him some of the
charge timeout. Tennessee, this is a 30-second timeout.
Nuances of the position, including, you got Champ Bailey, you got Keenan Lewis, now you add Jarris Byrd. I mean, there's some guys that have got some real NFL knowledge that are only going to make him a much better player.
Looking ahead, our upcoming schedule all brought to you by Cox. And we'll have the final preseason game right here on CST on the 28th on a Thursday night. So make plans to be with us on the 28th here at the Dome on CST. And then the 3 out of the first 4 on the road. Falcons, Browns, Cowboys with the Vikings, the home opener on the 21st. So the Saints coming off an 11-5 season last year. First ever playoff win. And then ran into Seattle. Now Mettenberger on a dart, and Hunter's got it again. What a half it has been for Justin Hunter with a couple of touchdown receptions.
I stole his thunder earlier and gave it to Kendall Wright, but he's the receiver that made the touchdown on in front of Wade with the crossing route.
Another flag right at the line of scrimmage. What an experience. Well, we talk about Jean-Baptiste, and to be on the field for a 2-minute drill, and the same applies for Zach Mettenberger out of LSU, their 6th-round pick.
This is invaluable reps, Joel, for everybody involved, especially young players.
Delay of game by the defense, number 67 for kicking the dead ball. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Big boys get tired. Sometimes you got to kick the ball. Buy a little time. What do you think, Sean?
Well, I'll hold it for a second.
Pocket collapsing and taken away from behind. Loose ball. It was created once again by Cam Jordan. And the Saints, they do have it.
This isn't college ball anymore. The pockets aren't going to last forever, especially from defensive pressure like you're going to see from Cam Jordan. He comes over the top. That ball needs to be out. It's not. Cam Jordan makes contact with that throwing arm. The ball's dislodged, and another turnover created by this Saints defense. You can look.
The field is a fumble recovered by New Orleans. First down.
Hicks on the recovery. And we talked about it. 19 takeaways in 18 games last year. The Saints have to be better at coming up with turnovers.
If you're looking at a statistic that this defense can improve, they're a top 5 defense. So where do you look at where can they improve? It's with turnovers. And so that's obviously been the point of emphasis so far.
Ryan Griffin, too tall for his speed guy, Brandon Cooks. And he had to get rid of it. Cooks hadn't even really turned around on the route. 32 seconds left in the half, and this is now really good for Ryan Griffin as well because you still got 2 timeouts on the board for the Saints.
Griffin and McCown both talked about throwing to a guy like Cooks who has that unbelievable speed. They said it's quite an adjustment between whether or not Cooks is the primary receiver or he's further down the progression. When he's the primary receiver, like he was in that play, it's easier to throw to him because you know how quick he is. Making up for lost time when you have to progress to him becomes a whole other challenge in itself.
Kyrie Robinson put down very quickly.
Second charge timeout. New Orleans.
And a loss on the
30-second
play.
timeout.
It'll bring up 3rd and long. So despite the fact, and they want to see this on film, they want to see how Griffin responds, despite the fact, normally regular season game, you want to get to the locker room. You're up by 4, but they won't film.
Situational football is huge.
Yeah, a new tradition in LSU athletics set to begin August 30th on Cox Sports Television. LSU Game Day Live, a new 1-hour pregame show. It airs Saturdays at 11 a.m. Central. It all starts with LSU's season opener against the Badgers of Wisconsin from NRG Stadium in Houston. Kevin Mawai, Jacob Hester, Cordy Rush, Victor Howell, Emily Dixon, they all team up for your game day needs. CST, your exclusive regional sports network, LSU Athletics. Little screenplay. Man, Robinson trying to get and bounce around with a flag down in the play with probably a block in the back potentially. Griffin tried to help him.
Oh, more yellow on the field. Never a good thing. But situational football, when you start talking about 2 minutes and 2-minute offense.
Holding. Offense. Number 71. Penalty is declined. Result of the play is 4th down.
Games are so close in the NFL. It's almost every game where you're going to either be defending or running your 2-minute offense or defense respectively. So to get preseason reps at the plays you're going to run and the cadence that you need to get to and alignment, it's huge to be able to get those reps now because you're absolutely going to see it when the season starts.
Thomas Morstead in once again. He's got a 47.5-yard average so far in this game. Mariani with the fair catch. Was spoiled by that guy.
Ooh.
Great hang time, and he puts him on the boundary with 8 seconds left. So the Saints capitalizing, Mark Ingram in particular.
Great job of following your lead block and getting what's there and grinding out a couple extra runs, extra yards. Same thing. He puts his head down, and then when in space, you see him break the 1 tackle and score a touchdown. So not pressing, but playing with a sense of urgency and capitalizing on what's given to him.
Does he look like he's more engaged right now? Because we saw him down on the sideline talking to teammates, and we saw it before the score as well, but it looks like he's more involved.
I think it's more of just a comfort and confidence in this offense. I think he's playing like this is his offense, and it's his job and opportunity to make the plays and be the playmaker that he knows that he can do.
Leon Washington with the last play on the reception of the half. So the Saints way too many penalties, yet they go to the locker room with 15 penalties, and they're up by 4.
Yeah. It's got to be a good feeling when you go in playing not your best ball, but still winning the game.
At the break, at the Dome for the first time of the preseason, it's the Saints 21-17 over Tennessee. Halftime of preseason game number 2 after the 26-24 win over the St. Louis Rams. At the break, the Saints on top of the Titans by 4. Welcome back once again, Joel Myers, John Stinchcomb, Sean Kelly. An uneven first half, to say the least, because of all the penalties. The pluses, though, again, Mark Ingram, Jimmy Graham, guys.
Once again, they're stepping up. Jimmy Graham, 2 touchdowns. Mark Ingram showed that he can play in space. His touchdown was nice in front of a safety, but there was also some lowlights, Joel.
Yeah,
to say the least.
All the flags certainly break up the rhythm of the half, as you said.
Right.
On the defensive side of the football, let's know Kenny Vaccaro, who loves to put his hat on the football, forcing 2 fumbles in the first half, making his presence felt throughout the first 2 quarters.
So now they'll try to clean things up in the second half, at least penalty-wise, but plays were made. And you mentioned it, Sean. Defensive side, Kenny Vaccaro. We saw Junior Gillette, Cam Jordan firing off the ball once again like they did last season. And we get ready now for our Rousers second half kickoff. And it's going to be Derek Dimke once again handling the duties. And you just mentioned there's a real battle, Sean. It's not such a slam dunk for the vet, Shane Graham, and they're taking a long look at Dimke tonight. Across the 15, good coverage.
Yeah, much better than what we saw in the first half.
So the Saints, good special teams coverage. On the play, it was Marcus Ball. It was on last week in St. Louis. Our Windows World sideline report, John DeShazer. John?
Well, Joel, as you might surmise, Saints weren't very happy with that first half performance, particularly in the penalty phase. Jimmy Graham shows a little bit of his emotional nature. Sometimes that works in his favor. Sometimes it doesn't necessarily work that way. The 2 dunks on the goalpost, both 15-yard penalties, unsportsmanlike conduct. He's the reason the penalty was created. Certainly you don't want to continue to do that, and he's shown a little bit of defiance to continue to do it.
Stinch, you know better than anybody else how Sean Payton is going to respond. On first down, the carry across the 18, 19, maybe a yard at the most for the running back, Sankey.
I'm sure he did a great job of expressing his displeasure with penalties. Preseason game number 2, you should really be able to build from preseason game number 1, and penalties is a bad way to start the half. 15, was it, in one half? Way too many, and for these young guys, it's a major point of emphasis. Now for Jimmy Graham, I'm pretty sure that's his statement that he's not real pleased with that new rule, especially because it comes from NFC South rival, the Atlanta Falcons.
Mettenberger fighting Michael Preston in his second season, and he's short of the first down. Look at the Titans possessions, all brought to you by Home Builders Self-Insurers Fund. And Tennessee, very efficient on their first 2 drives, and we talked about it. Jake Locker looks solid. So it's a contract year for Locker, 4th year out of Washington, first round pick, 8th overall. That's a high draft choice, so they've invested in him. Now, will he materialize, and will they extend him at the end of the year because of it? 3rd and 2 out of the locker room for the Titans. He looked at the tight end and keeps the play alive. What a job by Mettenberger. Isaiah Williams on the receiving end. Check that. It's Preston instead.
Enough for a first down. And Joel, if folks are just joining us, Mettenberger called into the game much earlier tonight because of the injury to Charlie Whitehurst back in the first half. He's going to get a lot of work tonight.
Mettenberger's got Glenn Foster hanging from his legs right there and still able to deliver down the field. And Mettenberger's coming off an ACL, so I'm sure he's still have that in his the back of his mind. So for him to deliver on a first down is a good sign for him.
Sankey, the rookie second-round pick out of Washington, is dropped by Kyle Knox, but flags again.
Offense, number 84, 10-yard penalty, replay first down.
Seems like, Sean, for the Tennessee Titans in this New Orleans Saints defense, that most of these third down situations are 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, and that's really, you look at the series chart for the Titans, and touchdowns, field goals, or turnovers, that plays right into these short yardage third downs.
Staying ahead of the chains, and if you notice on both those drives where they scored touchdowns, those are long field drives, 60-plus yards on both of those drives.
On first and long, Bullard shows the gun that we know he has. Taylor Thompson in his 3rd season out of SMU just settling in and gets it out to the 31. chunky yardage back on the 1st and 20.
Well, this is Mettenberger and a tight end finding a hole in the, it's zone coverage right there, and they're able to close and not allow for any yak yards, but Mettenberger's got a cannon, and he put it on display right there.
Thompson's a converted defensive end. They really like this kid now on the offensive side of the football.
Former 5th-round pick in 2012 of Tennessee. Spread the D, 2 on the wide side, and on the shallow cross underneath. It's complete, but great recovery in the secondary by Pierre Warren, the rookie out of Jacksonville State, bringing down Brian Robisky.
Another small school guy, Joel, who's really turned a lot of heads in training camp. I mean, in a crowded defensive secondary, as we've seen some injuries hold some guys out, it's allowed guys like Pierre Warren to step up and get a lot of reps and show us a little something.
JD, more on Warren?
Yes, sir. They like him a whole lot. He's got great ball skills. He intercepted a couple of passes the first week in training camp.
Yeah, they converge with the tight end. I believe he's got it again for the first down, Thompson. So Marcus Ball came over.
Marcus Ball coming from the Canadian Football League, where guys, that field is wider. Yeah, he had to learn to play a position and cover a lot more real estate than now what he's facing in the NFL. That may help him as he makes the transition now to our game here.
Yeah, mature guy, as you mentioned, though, with a couple of years in the CFL, playing up there for Toronto. He's a 27-year-old trying to make the Saints roster. And from the 43, a timeout is needed. Not exactly a surprise with a rookie quarterback and only his second professional game.
Tennessee.
So Mettenberger and the Titans moving the football to start the second half, but it's the Saints still on top by 4. Saints by 4. Tennessee's got it, though, in our Window World sideline report. Comes to you from Mike Neighbors. Mike?
Thanks, Joel. You know, Marcus Ball entered training camp at the age of 27. It was quite a journey to get here to the NFL. He went to Florida State, was one of the most highly touted safeties coming out of high school, but left Florida State with an academic scandal, had to go to JUCO ranks, then went to the University of Memphis, had a decent career but wasn't drafted, sat out of football for a year before going to the CFL. I know Sean alluded to that. Saints scouts found him in the CFL. I asked him the turning point in his career. He said sitting a year out of football, he thought about quitting, but he had a daughter. She's now 2 years old. She is his inspiration and a big reason he was motivated to rebuild his football life. Back to you guys.
A nice story. Very nice story. It doesn't make any difference where it comes from. And obviously his challenge, his motivation from within his family.
When he speaks to the media or you see him talking to his teammates, it's such a measured tone with him. He's very careful about what he wants to say. He's just a mature player now after going through all those things that we've discussed.
First down on the reception once again by the tight end, and knifing through into the backfield. It was the safety against Sunseri, and we talked about him.
We talked about him a lot last week, that he loves to play up close to the ball, as John is pointing out to you on the screen there, virtually in the box here. And a former linebacker and then strong safety and now a safety in the NFL. This is where he's most comfortable. A lot of that comes from his upbringing too, with his father's a linebacker coach. We talked about that last week, but he's aggressive and has shown that way sometimes to a fault in training camp so far, but he loved this play here.
5th round pick out of Alabama, and you saw his speed. The way it closed on the running back. It's a loss of a couple. On second down, Mettenberger low and behind his intended target, and it's Jackie Battle going down. This drive, don't forget, started back as Jean-Baptiste closed well on it. Started back at the 19-yard line. And let's not forget that Mettenberger, he played in the 4th quarter. This is his real first extensive time for a guy that threw for 3,100 yards last year and was second in passing efficiency in the SEC.
He's a little more under duress right now. You know, one guy we talked about a lot last week, Tyrone Walker, he's in there now on the defensive line for the Saints. He pushed that pocket back in a hurry on Mettenberger.
Yeah, Walker had a real good week in St. Louis. Had 1 of the 4 sacks for the Saints. So now on 3rd and long, pocket held up and dislodging the football. Speaking of Sunseri, what a shot. Timed it perfectly.
Great play by Sunseri, dislodging the ball, but Keonta Davis off the right side of your screen pressures Mettenberger, but Sunseri just lodging that ball. It ends the series for the Titans, and they're line up to punt. Great play.
This young group, Corey White, Sunseri, Jean-Baptiste, they're flying around here in the secondary during this drive.
I think there was some impassioned speech at halftime that guys are playing with a higher energy. You can see it from up here.
First punt for Brett Kern and Brandon Cooks on the end-over-ender, basically. Took it in cleanly back at about the 16-yard line. So the Saints about to get the football for the first time in the second half with a 4-point lead. And after giving up some chunks, that was pretty efficient what the defense did, in particular the secondary and safety. Vinny Sunseri. Saints get it for the first time of the second half. 8:20 left in the third. Time now for a Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers trivia question. Good one. Steve Gleason blocked the punt. First game in the Dome after Katrina. Do you remember who covered it for a touchdown?
I got that one, Joel.
Okay. All over it this week.
Yeah, they had a trick question last time. Shift the tight end. Josh Hill off a great game in St. Louis. Off the play fake as well. Look out, Joe Morgan's available. He's got it.
After his safety start to his camp, Joel, he's going to come on.
And I don't know if he can throw it that far, but the only thing that prevented a touchdown was throwing it a little bit longer for Joe Morgan.
You can see Joe Morgan lifts the top off this defense. He gets over the top of that safety. He's coming over for help. He's in no position to make a play just because of Joe Morgan's speed.
Joe Morgan's got 2 catches for 96 yards. Not a bad average. So from the 16 to the 40, man, good penetration in the backfield. That was Traveris Cadet. Ayers gets credit for the stop, but it was Daquan Jones who pushed it way back there. 4th-round pick, the rookie out of Penn State.
What a night for Morgan, as you mentioned, Joel. And this is so important because we talked about it more last week than we have this week. But that position battle at the bottom of the wide receiver group is so competitive for the Saints right now. Morgan, I don't want to say he was on the bubble, but a night like this certainly makes that conversation go away.
False start.
False start. Offense, number 89. 5-yard penalty. Replay second half.
Possession chart for the Saints in the first half. All brought to you by Home Builder Self-Insurers Fund. And the touchdowns belong in the first 2, and it was an impressive drive to start the game. With Luke McCowan at the controls, Jimmy Graham, and Mark Ingram on the short field. But they took it over on the fumble. Griffin stepping up to extend the pocket, and look out. He's got Cooks off his fingertips.
Man, did Griffin take a shot after he let that ball go? My goodness.
And that's after stepping up to extend the play.
He did. The pocket breaks down on Griffin right here, and he puts the ball in a position where Brandon Cooks can make a play. But as much as we've talked about how sure-handed Cooks has been all camp, there's one that he lets get away. Now, it's a tough catch. But for Brandon Cooks, it's a makeable play.
It's almost like he didn't want to leave his feet to get to it. Now on 3rd and long. Looking over the middle behind and off the deflection, the interception. Coming back with it, it is the safety Damian Stafford. So the ball behind the intended target, Andy Tanner. Stafford with a flag down in the play.
Legal use of hands to the face. Defense, number 56. 5-yard penalty in the previous spot. Automatic first down to Orleans.
There is a break. No turnover. It goes back to the Saints on the mistake.
Once again, that penalty is really rearing its ugly head. Somewhere in the middle of this, a defender, which this happens more often than not, but you see he's pushing over the left guard. His hands would start off in the shoulder pads, get slid up to the neck and head region of the left guard, and ends up in a penalty, big game-swinging penalty for the Tennessee Titans.
Now on the slight delay, Cadet, for nothing doing. Inside the 40, only a couple, down to the 39. So now some reps for Ryan Griffin, who we talked about was so efficient, looked so complete last week in St. Louis. Came in late in the first half after McCown had engineered most of the first 30 minutes of play.
Griffin said this week that one thing he really wants to improve on is his pre-snap read. We can talk more about that as we go along with Griffin's time here in the second half.
Josh Hill setting up. Griffin again. Now better pocket protection, in trouble and on his way down. As opposed to forcing the ball, he took the sack. We check in once again with Mike Neighbors. Mike?
Joel, is no secret Drew Brees a big fan of Brandon Cooks, and he really breaks down what he gives in terms of speed. He says he has it all. He has the short area quickness, the great transition ability, and of course the phenomenal straight line speed, an unusual and nice combo for any receiver. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Mike. It'll be 3rd and long after the sack. Back at about the 42. Again, time, middle of the field, and right off the fingertips, a big Josh Hill. They asked about Hill last week, and Ryan Griffin was honest about it. He goes, he's my roommate. What do you want me to do?
Well, he's looking for him again here, and his receivers really haven't given him much help. The ball bouncing off of Andy Tanner's hands that would have ended up in an interception, and then a catchable ball to Hill right there.
Going up against a good linebacker out of Missouri, a 3rd-round pick, Xavier Gooden. So he timed it, as you can see, yanking that arm down after the hand got on the ball. Wooten is back deep. And the wobbler inside the 10. No, it goes the other way, but a good grab. Downfield just the same for the Saints. So the alert play made by Edebali, the outside backer. Tennessee's got it when we come back to the Dome, but the Saints have a Florida on the field now for the Saints, and let's get to know them a little bit better.
Hey Saints fans, I'm Ronald Powell. I like to listen to oldies. I really enjoy time with my family. My favorite food is soul food. Kevin Hart makes me laugh. One thing you might not know about me is I'm a dog lover.
We like that a lot.
We love that part.
Yep, it's okay by me.
Powell had a pretty devastating injury when he was at Florida. Had a medical red shirt 2 years ago. When he was drafted by the Saints, both Mickey Loomis and Sean Payton talked about a couple of guys that the Saints drafted that had significant injuries while playing college ball. They felt confident enough in the medical returns they got back on those guys and felt that that was an extra motivation for those players to show them something here at this level.
Good bounce outside by the running back. Sankey, rookie out of Washington. Believe it or not, he was 54th overall, 2nd-round pick, and he was the first running back selected in the draft. They weren't at actually a premium. Let's head down to Mike Neighbors. Mike?
Joel, to build off what Sean said, he actually had an ACL injury twice in Florida, once rehabbing the original one, so he had some bad luck in Florida. We talked about Marcus Ball earlier being a big recruit out of high school. Ronald Powell was the #1 recruit coming out of high school when he was a senior in California. Back to you guys.
Okay, Mike, thank you. So talented guy selected by the Saints. Blitz off the edge. Good run call. Up the middle, and Sankey barely brought down. And that is a huge play by the linebacker who made the play for the Saints, Kyle Knox, because Sunseri had vacated the premises off the edge.
That's right. It's high pressure in that scenario. You've blitzed off the edge with a linebacker and your safety. You're one-on-one in space. Kyle Knox doesn't make this tackle, and it goes for a lot more yards than just the 6 or 7 that he got with that run.
It'll be 2nd and 3 at the 32. Final 4 minutes of the 3rd quarter. Quiet in comparison to the first half. Good pocket protection again for Mettenberger. Throws it behind his tight end who bobbled it, caught it. And are they going to say a reception? Yes, at the 47 and touch there. It's first catch for Chase Kaufman tonight, a celebrated tight end out of the University of Missouri 5 years ago.
Ken Wisenhunt is trying to develop that tight end position into like a lot of the more successful offenses now in the NFL. We talked about Thompson earlier.
Illegal contact. Defense, number 30. The penalty is declined. Result of the play. First down, Tennessee.
That's Wade out of the secondary. But Sean, everybody now utilizes tight end almost like an extra wide receiver.
Absolutely. It starts with Walker, their starting tight end, and works its way now to what seems like a pretty deep group for them.
Man, tight end / wide receiver, but not by the CBA standards.
No such thing.
1st and 10 at the 47. Shift Jackie battled in. Fullback. Sankey again, and he's got a wheel on the edge. And we were looking forward to seeing this young man. Man, he's making the most of the opportunity.
He does all three things very well, even at his young age. He pass protects well. He catches the ball out of the backfield as good as anybody on their roster. And here he's a hard downhill runner.
Well, Tyron Walker took away any kind of inside threat that Sankey had. He penetrated. He actually took the block and drew the block as a fullback too, but Sankey was able to find the edge, and there was really nobody home to set the edge right there.
And don't forget, Mettenberger is now 14 of 16 for 198. Putting it up again. Man, good alert play and an interception. Now trying to give it away. The man who was the recipient, that was Jean-Baptiste, and it's going to belong to the Saints as it was bobbled and popped up in the air away from Derek Hagan. And that is a huge break. And you see the coach right now telling him, take what they gave you.
Turnovers are way too valuable.
Fumble recovered by New Orleans. First down.
They're too valuable to risk with this kind of maneuver, especially for Jean-Baptiste. He's about to have a play right in front of him that turns it into a positive.
Saints get it back at the Dome. It's rookie 2nd-round pick, Stanley Jean-Baptiste, the recipient of a gift from Derek Hagan. So take it and don't give it right back.
Great throw by Mettenberger. Only his man can catch it, although he doesn't, obviously. And then, Stench, I think at the end here, Jean-Baptiste trying to make this into an even bigger play. Is he trying to lateral the football to Sinceri?
Turns into a little bit of a sandlot football. We got kicking the football, legs are up in the air, but Saints come away with it.
Ryan Griffin giving it off, and the first carry of the night for Strozier as the 5'8", 180-pound rookie out of Tulane.
Holding. Offense. Number 65. 10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Well, you got 6. It'll come back, though.
Stench, it always seems like there's one running back, usually one of the new guys on the block, that takes an absolute beating during training camp. Even in all the thud stand-up 11-on-11 situations, for whatever reason, Derek Strozier's always taken to the ground. He's been tackled more than any player I've seen the last 3 weeks at the Greenbrier.
I guess you could call it hazing as a rookie?
Maybe, sure. I don't know.
From a cornerback to the green wave that eventually made his way to running back. Now Griffin deep in his own territory and drops it off to Cadet. Cadet making a miss in space. Nifty move out to the 25-yard line.
Playing right to the strengths for Cadet. He's a guy who makes plays in space, and for Griffin, he's able to go through his progression, doesn't find anything he likes, checks it down to Cadet, makes a tackle miss, puts on a move, gains some more yards to make it a much more manageable 2nd and 5.
Yeah, and then makes him more valuable to the team because we know what he can do on a return game.
That's right.
And as a resource out of the backfield, it's the fullback on a quick hammer play. Man, we saw Austin Johnson get it in the first half.
Well, that's Greg Jones. Greg Jones is no stranger to the football. He was a featured tailback many moons ago.
Jacksonville.
Yes, in Jacksonville, and even in college, he was the man. So, not a bad strategy to feed him the ball every once in a while.
Need 2 on 3rd down from the 28. Man, with a safe play and a smart play. Joe Morgan's got it. I can't believe he killed his average, though, by making that catch.
I don't know what he was thinking, not going for 46 on that one, but
2 for 96, and boy, 3 catches for 108. Jump change by his standards tonight, but a first down out to the 40-yard line.
Guys, we were talking about pre-snap reads for Ryan Griffin. One of the things that you'll watch him do, and a lot of fans ask me this, is he'll see a quarterback go up to the line of scrimmage and start pointing things out. We see Peyton Manning do it demonstratively all the time. it seems the first thing they're looking for is that Mike linebacker. And Stinch, why is it that that's one of the first things that quarterback has to identify?
It puts everybody on the same page. Offensive line, receivers, running backs. Depending on the play call, it lets us, the offensive line, know who we've got and also where the responsibilities are for the running backs, for the wide receivers, which routes to run, pending pressure and blitz, and whether you need to get your head around early. So that first declaration of who the Mike is pivotal for the entire offense.
Griffin looking comfortable as the pocket started to evaporate, and there he goes to his roommate again. And Josh Hill is a load. He took 3 guys out.
He's made a number of plays, both in game number 1 and now in game 2.
Strozer trying to make a miss and got about 4 on the carry to the 45 of the last snap of the third. Ryan Pace is going to join us at the start of the fourth quarter, the director of player personnel for the New Orleans Saints. So we'll have that conversation when we come back. Third quarter, our Rouse's score. Start of the fourth, and we get ready for a 4th shot and a 4-point lead for the Saints over the Tennessee Titans. Joel Myers, John Stinchcomb, Sean Kelly, and Ryan Pace, the Saints director of personnel, joining us now at a busy time coming up for you, besides the preseason, of course.
This is a busy time. I mean, obviously we're evaluating our own roster right now, as long as other teams' rosters as well around the league. So this is a time where we kind of pay attention to, where teams might make hard cuts, players that can help our roster.
So as you say, keeping up pro personnel first right now during the preseason, Ryan, as you mentioned, see what other teams are doing with some of their personnel, and then eventually, after the season starts, the college personnel.
That's right. Right now, our college scouts are already in their areas, but our pro scouts, they're pretty much at every preseason game around the league, so they're paying attention to, depth, strong depth on certain depth charts around the league to find out where their hard cuts are. And there's been players we've acquired that way. Raphael Bush was one for us a couple years ago, so it's a good way, to upgrade your roster this time of year.
Well, Ryan, it seems like more so than any other team, the Saints organization seems to find these diamonds in the rough. Small schools, undrafted guys. How does that come about?
John, obviously our college scouts are thorough, do a good job, but I think a lot of it starts with Sean Payton, too. I mean, we've had success there, but when guys come in here, it doesn't matter where they come from. Everybody starts on a clean slate. So, and really with the small school guys, I mean, when we go in there initially, you're just evaluating the talent, and then you get to see them in an all-star game. Like Teron Armstead was in the East-West game, did very well against better competition. You get to look at their combine numbers, and then we just compare them to the other players in the draft. So.
Good catch, close to a first down as they walled off that left side with the motion and led it perfectly, maybe a yard short of the first down.
Ryan, you guys have added a couple guys as we've gone through training camp just this past week. I know you tried out some folks at the Greenbrier, ended up signing a tight end in Travis Beckham. Help us through that process and what that is about filling spot number 89 or 90 on your 90-man roster right now.
It seems like every year there's a position that kind of gets hit, and this year it's been tight end for us. We've had multiple injuries there and things that have happened. So, Beckham's an athletic tight end from Wisconsin that we've kind of had our eyes on. So, we were lucky to have him available this time of year.
When evaluating pro personnel at this time of the year, do you look at other teams where they're top heavy at certain positions, knowing that, they've got 6 there, they can only keep 4. I'm going to keep my eye on them in particular?
Yeah, that's what's going on right now, and I'm sure teams are doing the same with us. Our positions of depth, calls are being made throughout the league, but we know we highlight certain depth charts, certain positions where we're watching that, and honestly, we got our fingers crossed that they're going to try to sneak a guy to a practice squad. We'll put in a claim on that player if it's someone that can help us.
Interesting.
That probably holds true for us too, though. There's guys that, you're hoping to save for a practice squad spot that you don't want to get snatched up from another team.
You're nervous about that every year. I mean, there's a handful of guys we're holding our breath to get through that process.
We'll come right back, continue our conversation with the director of personnel for the Saints, Ryan Pace, in just a moment. Third quarter numbers through 3, all brought to you by Slidell Memorial Hospital. And the Saints with 314 tonight, and top-heavy through the pass, as you can see, and also way too many penalties. Fortunately, it's only the preseason. Joel Myers, John Stinchcomb, Sean Kelly, Ryan Pace with us, the director of personnel for the New Orleans Saints. Get back to Ryan in just a moment. On 1st and 10 for Tennessee as the Saints failed on 4th at about 3. And how about the pick? The man who's made some plays already, Sunseri, returning it. He gets a block to the 30, and Sunseri with the turnover, the takeaway, and they've got it down inside the 25. Boy, energy. 42 and 43 tonight. Vaccaro and Sunseri.
No doubt, Kenny in the first half. Now Sunseri here in the second half. We talked, Stanch, earlier about this young group of defensive backs flying around the secondary here in the second half. It's paid off, and they've read Mettenberger pretty well, especially Sunseri here jumping the route.
Great job of falling back into a position where he can make a play on that route. But Sunseri showed up not only in the run game, but now he's making plays deep in the secondary. So, Ryan, getting back to you, there's been so many guys that you found, just position group-wise, undrafted Pierre Thomas, Chris Ivory, now Kyrie Robinson, that make the roster and make some strong additions to the team. Do you take a sense you've got to take a sense of pride of being able to find some of these guys?
You're right, John. It's really the whole college scouting department, though, because our college scouts, that's where they're really, making their money is on those guys they uncover. Kyrie Robinson was, people were going into West Texas A&M, honestly, to look at an offensive lineman. Then you come in there and you see him, and, he stands out, so we're fortunate to get him. But there's guys every year in college free agency that our college scouts kind of dig out. There's guys, this time you're in the preseason. I remember last year we were watching Senio Clemente. He was playing left guard for us. This game, he was discovered in the preseason last year with Arizona.
Jones trying to hook up with Griffin. And I wanted to talk to you as well about the windows by position. And I mean the opportunity for guys in their growth, Ryan. Do you look at positions differently, like the running back as opposed to a defensive end where they mature and where their window can actually, where they can capitalize?
Yeah, we've talked about that a lot. What positions take a little bit longer to kind of reach their peak. Sometimes some can make an impact earlier than others. So that's something we talk about, and even in our scouting system, we have colors that kind of trigger by age and by position to tell us when they're in their peak at their position or not.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense, number 57.
3-5.
5-yard penalty.
Now it's going to be third and short after the takeaway.
As we watch him get an early jump on the ball, and smart play by the offensive line really to draw the flag once he's crossed the ball. But Ryan, in the locker room they tell everybody that these are auditions, not only for your team but also for the other 31 teams that are watching your tape.
That's right. I know Sean talks to those guys a lot. Hey, don't get consumed with the numbers on the depth chart if there's a lot of guys in front of you, because you're right, John. You're trying out for 31 other teams, and that's true. We're locking into every guy. So, if you play well just because the position might be deep here, another team's going to pick you up.
Ryan, what's the difference between
pass interference, offense, number 16. Penalties decline, result of the play, 4th down.
What's the difference, Ryan, in a guy like Brandon Coleman or Sean Tavius Jones, young in their careers, trying to make that roster, as opposed to like the fullback you brought in, the veteran in Jones, as far as making NFL rosters go? What's the challenge that may be unique to each of those age groups?
I know with the receivers coming in, just unique to their age group is going to be mentally learning the game. It's a big jump from where they've come from, and and our offense has got a lot of terminology. So for them, that's a big jump. For the veteran player, it's more, okay, mentally he's probably going to grasp it, but where is he at physically at this point in his career? Especially a fullback that's, I'm sure, played a physical position.
And Shane Graham in there with the 34-yard field goal. Ryan, appreciate you taking the time to come up and join us tonight.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks a lot. Ryan Pace, Director of Personnel for the Saints. And the Saints with 3 more, lead it now by 7:42 left in regulation, and a 7-point lead for the Saints. Time now for a Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers trivia question. Steve Gleason with the block of the punt in the first game of the Dome after Katrina. Do you remember who covered it for a touchdown? John Stinchcomb.
Well, it's cheating. That's a big play. I hope most of us remember that one. But Curtis DeLoach, man who recovered the ball in the end zone. He also showed up for last year at Newman High School, local high school. We did a flag football game with some of the Wounded Warriors in conjunction with Team Gleason, and Curtis DeLoach was back around, so it was a reunion of sorts.
Very nice. It is Dimke kicking it away. And about 8 yards into the end zone. And Alley over to the left side closes in a hurry for the Tennessee Titans return man, Antonio Andrews. Tennessee's got it when we return. To their own 25, down by 4. In fact, the Saints have shut them out in the second half. NFL headlines all brought to you by Window World. Chiefs wide receiver Dwayne Bowe has been suspended for a game. Julio Jones expecting to play for the Falcons on Saturday, tomorrow night. And goodbye to Candlestick Park, San Francisco. What a ballpark.
Paul McCartney just played there the other night. The Beatles had played there in 1966, and it'll be one of the closing acts at that frigid ballpark on the Point.
Boy, summertime in San Francisco, and Candlestick Park in particular. Now Mettenberger coming off of the turnover. With heat under duress, Tyron Walker getting into the backfield. Fourth quarter brought to you by Home Builders Self-Insurers Fund. I've done a lot of games at Candlestick Park, frozen in the middle of summer doing baseball there. Maybe the best game I ever did at Candlestick Park. Steve Young, Terrell Owens did it with Matt Millen on CBS Radio. 3 seconds left, playoff game against the Packers. Unforgettable.
Yeah.
And Owens was a different guy early in his career, as that was a miscommunication with the wide receiver, flag down to the plate. I remember Owens coming over to the sideline and tears streaming down his face after the catch.
So many great games played in that park. Sad to see it go.
It was time, believe me. It was time.
Oh, I'm not doubting that.
Illegal contact. Defense, number 52, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So an automatic, and boy, hands to the face, illegal use of hands, point of emphasis, and especially in the secondary.
They're cracking down on it, and you're going to see more in preseason than you'll see in regular season, just so that they're conveying the message to the players that what you used to get away with, you're not going to this year.
Sankey in the eye. Man puts it on the ground. It's out. It's loose, and the Saints get it back outside of the 30. Poor exchange between the quarterback and the running back. Coming up with it for the Saints. A celebration for Brendan Dedrick.
Turnovers has been a killer for this Tennessee Titans offense. Great penetration by Tyron Walker and Glenn Foster getting off the ball well, but quarterback running back exchange, he never had the ball cleanly. It almost looked like he was reaching out for it. Hits off his hands, doesn't make it to his chest. Ball's on the floor.
So the fourth fumble of the game by Tennessee, and Dedrick is not giving that football up. To the football, Dedrick, and so are the Saints. We'll stay up to date on everything Saints, and that's with the team's official app, all presented by Verizon. You can check out the upcoming schedule, standings, stats, anything you want. Live press conferences with Coach Sean Payton. It's all on the Saints app. And takes you through everything right here at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome as well. It's free. It's available, all presented by Verizon on iTunes and Google Play. Let's check in with John DeShazer after the running play as Griffin gives it off once again. It's Cadet this time for a good gain of 5. JD?
Joel, the Saints have forced 5 turnovers tonight, and a lot of people have the notion that this defense, which was top 5 last year, can be as good as the Super Bowl defense. Now, Stitch can speak to this. That Super Bowl defense forced 39 turnovers and scored 7 defensive touchdowns. So he can tell you how much that helps an offense.
Big time.
Oh, it's a game changer. We had so many guys making plays, and the name that pops to mind is really Darren Shuffle, who, he came and obviously his personal life is not something we'll discuss at this point, but that year he made so many plays, and there were questions whether he had anything left and was he still playing at a high level, and boy, he proved them that he was able to turn games around with the amount of turnovers. But 39 in a season would be a dream come true for this 2014 New Orleans defense.
A catch by Shontavious Jones, and how about the play after the catch? That was the key. That was first team All-Gulf South Conference last year.
I think Shontavious Jones might be one of those guys Ryan Pace was talking about. Yes, he don't want other teams to know about. As deep as that wide receiver battle, he's a guy that he's got a lot of upside, if you will, and it could be a player for him down the road.
Saints in the Slabby Cajun seasoning red zone. So and you brought it up, Sean, talking about Brandon Coleman.
Right.
It's so tough. There are 6 really, really good receivers, and I'm including Tune in the 6. And there is Coleman, Shontavious Jones, other impressive athletes.
Hawkins, too, the kid that grew up at St. Aug here in New Orleans, played at Southern. There's going to be some available talent when they have to finally trim down to 53.
Griffin, and what a grab by Cadet. It almost looked simultaneous, but maybe the backer got there early, and that was Boku who got him.
Titans bring pressure right up the gut. Ryan Griffin drifts back in the pocket like he did with Mark Ingram. Great catch by Cadet. Griffin puts in a spot where he can catch it. Only player to really make a play on the ball, and boy, does he come up big.
What hands.
Nice.
First and goal at the 3. Boy, look at this formation.
Standard for the 3-yard line, isn't it?
Give him a different look. And almost going the other way for about 97 yards. He wanted Strozier jumping the route perfectly, though, was Micah Pellerin, a kid from Metairie, a young man that grew up right here in New Orleans and almost had a highlight of his own.
Exciting chance for a hometown kid. It's interesting in this short field situation, the highlight of Wednesday's morning practice of the Greenbrier was we finally got to see that live goal line scrimmage. And I think that all eyewitnesses would say that the defense had the better time of it. Let's see if the offense can't shine here a little bit in a preseason game scenario.
In the eye, little play action. And what a grab, touchdown Jones. There is a flag on the play. Not exactly your typical catch.
No, not conventional, but once again, Shamtavius Jones. That's 2 big catches for this series.
Low Valdosta State.
Pass interference. Defense, number 32. Penalty is declined. Result of the play, touchdown.
Which catch you like better, Cadet or this one? Wow.
Young guys trying to be seen. Boy, he's got him hanging all over him. Shamtavius is a big man for wide receiver. They have him listed at 6'4", 6'5".
And again, don't forget about the guy who put it where only he could get it, and that's Ryan Griffin, who's now 13 of 19 for 179 yards with a couple of touchdowns. Shane Graham in for the 33-yard extra point. And plenty of leg there.
He hit a 55-yarder Wednesday in practice to help his cause.
So a sensational catch on the drive after the takeaway by Cadet. Now an equally incredible one by Jones. Insurance with points off a takeaway. In fact, their last 10 points of this game have come on turnovers by Tennessee and interception. Now the fumble by Sankey. Our Slidell Memorial Hospital powering the CST Twitter tonight and asking John Stinchcomb how do penalties affect you, especially when you're the one getting cited for the infraction, John?
Well, you're trying to not let it affect your mentality because the last thing you want to do is start playing tentative. But in all, and speaking frankly, it's a tough proposition, especially if it happens early in a game, that to not let it affect you. But as a professional, that's what you're called to do. Just put it behind you. The old Fido mentality of forget it and drive on. Move on to the next play.
Guys on the PGA Tour do that better than anybody else.
That's it.
You know, think about the next good shot, not the last bad one.
Just conjure your inner golfer.
A line drive from Dimke and a returnable short for Andrews. But good coverage downfield on specials by the Saints. Our Slidell Memorial Hospital player of the game. Well, we talked about 42 in the first half. How about 43, Vinny Sunseri in the second half?
Boy, he was making plays in the run game. He was disruptive in the pass game. Quite a shot to make sure it didn't get a big play downfield. And here he shows up with a turnover. Great job of elevating, making a play, and he's not done. He's going for some yardage after the catch.
I thought he did very well playing close to the ball where he's very comfortable, but as you saw there, playing in some space too tonight.
Simple handoff on first down. You know, it's funny. We talk about Kenny Vaccaro, and our expectations now for him are off the charts. It's like he's been to a couple of Pro Bowls in only his second, getting ready for his second season. But here's a kid who played, and we talked about it. When you're an SEC guy, and he's a fifth-round pick out of Alabama, it almost makes you feel like, well, if you got him from a different conference, he would have been a second-round pick because they are so deep talent-wise in the SEC.
You're right. It's a feeder system for the NFL, it seems, and Sunseri obviously saw some great talent in the SEC, and it's serving him well early on in his NFL career.
There's Traverse Ketty for Carl. And I bring it up because it's kind of interesting when you look at players, skilled players, and break it down by position and conferences. And a lot of times the Pac-12 has so many pro-type offenses. You see skills guys, the wide receivers or the tailbacks out of the Pac-12. And even Locker tonight from Washington out of the Pac-12, their quarterback. But then Ingram, the power backs out of the SEC. And guys that can make them miss, like Ingram as well.
Well, we used to talk about linemen coming from the Big Ten. You know, Zach Streep's a Northwestern guy.
Yes.
Here we go. I knew I was going to tee it up for you.
Encroachment. Defense, number 75. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
That's Walker. Get back to that thought, Sean, in just a moment. Now, Pelicans are ready to take off. Camp is not that far away for the Pels now, and they are healthy. Ashik at center. They've also got a app, and it's absolutely free, just like the Saints app. And you can pick up on it. Just go over to the Pelicans app on your iPhone, your Android devices. Go to Pelicans.com for any questions as well. Slightly behind Mariani, the intended target, who can't hang on third down. And the Saints will get it right back.
Another big push up front. That pocket around Mettenberger is about as big as your closet in your college dorm room. You know, I'm only teasing Stinch here, but think about it, though, and I know the game has changed a little bit, but it used to be linebackers and offensive linemen. Well, you thought Big Ten all the way. Now, Stinch, some more powered guys up front in the SEC.
There we go.
Yes.
And Big 12.
Yes,
the top two
Big 12
conferences,
too.
SEC by far, Big 12 behind them. And then, as I said, if you want pro-style offenses, it's usually the Pac-12. Although Art Briles at Baylor has changed things, hasn't he? And Chip Kelly did it in Oregon, the way he went with some wild offensive sets there.
I think we gave Vinny Sinceri our player of the game, and I think he might have just gotten called for a hold.
We can't rescind the award.
That's okay.
That's okay. It's already been given.
Everybody else has gotten called for a penalty tonight.
And you know what he wins with the award?
During the return, holding number 43 of the return team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Roll his ball, first down.
He gets a hearty hand clasp from John Stinchcomb.
That's coming, Vinny. Get excited.
Our banner play of the game and a banner day you can make it. How about Joe Morgan? That's fun to watch.
It's exciting. Somebody stretch the defense, go deep, get over the top of these safeties and make plays.
Going into last year, we all thought that Morgan was going to be that guy, and then when he got hurt, they leaned on Kenny Stills a little bit to try to be the stretch the field guy. And taking a look at Joe's numbers for today, I think that he helps his cause here in this battle for one of those last wide receiver spots. Why not with 108 yards on the receiving end there, Joe?
Yeah, and I mean, he tore his ACL last summer. When I hear Sean Payton talk about Joe Morgan, and as brief as it's been, he sounds like he's very much a part of the big picture.
Oh, absolutely.
So I don't find Joe Morgan, maybe I'm wrong, but it just seems like he's not a bubble guy.
The only reason I bring up the fact that he's a bubble guy is because if you start ticking down the names, Joel, when you start with Colston and Meacham up top, and then if you say, well, what Stills was to this team last year, now Stills is in that mix, and then you add Brandon Cooks. Well, we're already at 4 now. Nick Toon's having another great camp. That's 5.
Meacham.
So I mentioned Meacham and Colston
Right.
at the top. So now you're at 5, and you haven't even said Joe Morgan's name yet. Now, is Joe Morgan a 6th guy, or does Toon stay in there because of his special teams contributions? These are all things that we'll talk about, in week 4 of the preseason. But that's why I have to throw that out there at this point. And then now, as a kid like Coleman makes a catch, and both he and Seantavius Jones have had a nice run here in the second half, it goes back to our conversation with Ryan Pace earlier about top-heavy at certain position groups and how that impacts the league as we get into that 4th week of the preseason.
And this guy is 6'6".
Right. But he's been inconsistent during camp. He looks every bit of the part. He goes undrafted. He seems to be the guy that fits the mold for Mickey Loomis and Sean Payton as far as a find goes. If he can show us a little more going into next week, especially with practices starting on Sunday in Metairie here, that conversation remains open for a kid with that size like Brandon Coleman.
Yeah.
How crowded is that
deep.
practice going to be?
They're
Sunday?
deep. The practice Sunday, by the way, is open.
Yes.
We talked about that earlier. It's at 4 o'clock. Go to the websites, though, the NewOrleansSaints.com. In case of rain, it could be moved indoors. So whether it's the Facebook page or Twitter for the Saints or NewOrleansSaints.com, there are going to be updates if there are bad weather conditions. I want to get back to the wide receivers because it's a great topic. This team is really deep and really deep and young. And we've talked about that. Timeout. You want to run the clock with 4:43 to play. And we had Ryan Pace, Director of Personnel, up earlier talking about this very subject of trying to slip guys through to the practice squad. Well, Saints coverage on CST continues weekly throughout the regular season. Saints tonight on game days. Outside the Huddle is every Thursday. And the Sean Payton press conference the day after each game. It's all right here, only on Cox Sports Television, your regional sports network, your home for the Saints. Go to CoxSportsTV.com for all the dates and times. So they're watching the Saints, I guarantee you, at the wide receiver position as closely as any position on this franchise because of the athletes we're watching right now.
There's no doubt.
That are on the outside.
Yes, and these guys that are struggling or battling for these last 5-6 spots for the New Orleans Saints, they could easily be 2 or 3 guys for some other teams.
Right. That's Logan Kilgore with a nice throw to the wide side of the field. It got there, and it's complete. And once again, it is Brandon Coleman on the receiving end. And on his break, he was available right away. Waited on the ball.
He can separate a little bit. We've seen that in camp. The inconsistency I'm talking about is hanging on to the football, and we saw that last week. Remember, it hit him in the face mask, right? And that's what caused the interception, was charged to Luke McCown. So for him to atone and have a much better outing here in week 2, certainly keeps him in the conversation we're talking about.
On a first down, just want to get out of here healthy. And that's been the real positive over the first 2 preseason games. I shouldn't have brought it up till the last 30 seconds. And I said it to Doug Miller, who heads up Saints Media. And I said, Doug, best thing about it last week was everybody was healthy. Everybody walked away.
We saw Keenan Lewis walk off the field today. Hopefully that's minor. And Kyrie Fort pulled up. Possible, you hate to speculate for a guy. He was able to get up and make his way to the sideline, but we haven't seen him since. Maybe a little mild hamstring pull.
And looking forward to next week at Indianapolis. I think we're going to see Drew Brees come back. I think we're going to see Ben Grubbs come back at one of the guard positions. He resumed practice this past week at the Greenbrier. So as far as guys not getting hurt, the guys that have been, I think we're going to start to see them cycle back in a little bit. And then we're all on that watch about Jarvis Byrd and Champ Bailey. And at what point will they get some preseason reps? None of us really know the extent of what they're going through, but I'll be anxious to see how that progresses into preseason game number 3 and especially game number 4.
Add John Jenkins to that list of guys that are returning to practice.
He got cleared, yep.
And now, waiting for it and coming down with it. And they say no. He was ripped away at the last second. Charles Hawkins out of Southern. You brought up Champ Bailey, who hasn't participated, like Bird. Do you think, and I bring it up because we saw Drew Brees, we'll get back to it in a moment. It was there, wasn't it, when he waited?
I was hoping that Hawkins would get a big play tonight. He played his high school ball here at St. Aug, and how cool would it have been for him to get just a little moment here in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome tonight.
It'll be a 4th down punt coming up from Thomas Morstead. But back to the thought, 8 years later with Drew Brees, the Saints aren't in the equation for guys that want to come here now. The way Drew Brees has changed this franchise. And I mean, we talk about guys that move in other sports, and they attract guys that want to play with them. And you can call them ring seekers, anything you want. Champ Bailey wasn't here a few years ago before Drew Brees. This guy has changed this franchise dramatically, and it's going to continue now.
Well, it's a change in culture. Yep. Drew's obviously instrumental in that, but you look at Robert Meacham and Jonathan Goodwin, 2 guys that have gone to play for other teams, and where do they come right back? And it's part of, you want to be a part of something special, and I think it speaks volumes of the culture that's created in this locker room, and Drew Brees is probably the main influential force from a player's perspective.
That's Chase Kaufman on the catch. Yeah, it is really a destination point now. That's what it boils down to. This copyrighted telecast of Saints football may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the express written consent of the New Orleans Saints and Cox Sports Television. And the window for Drew Brees is 35 He's really taking good care of himself. John, you know better than anybody else. High level, another 3, 4, even 5 years potentially.
He's claiming 10. I wouldn't put it past him. As competitive in nature as he is, great play there by Edebali. Somebody who's shown flashes, Sean, I'm sure that you've seen it in training camp so far.
2-minute warning. 2-minute warning.
2 minutes left. Saints by 14, about to go to 2-0 in the preseason. But all back, and especially here at the Mercedes-Benz Dome in New Orleans. Joel Myers, John Stinchcomb, Sean Kelly, Mike Neighbors, John DeShazer down on the sideline. And we get ready for the final minute 58 as we do check in now with Mike Neighbors. Mike.
Thank you very much, Joel. You know, looking at this game, penalties, they're going to be one of the headlines, but for a defense that had 19 takeaways in 18 games a year ago, having 5 tonight, that's definitely a positive. That's something they've emphasized in training camp so far, and they can take from this game. And, you know, everybody wants Drew Brees to be back, but having Ryan Griffin and Luke McCown have such meaningful snaps is also a big positive for this football team. Back to you.
All right, Mike, thank you. We'll check in with John DeShazer in just a minute. All right, great play defensively. Rico Richardson made the catch, but I like what happened in the close and the play by Darius Brooks after the catch. So 3rd down and 9. Final 95 seconds. Mettenberger on a comeback then. Did he get enough? Well, let's see what the spot is right at the 1st down marker. We'll bring up the 4th down.
Joel, I want to point out something real quick. As the football team was traveling back from St. Louis to West Virginia last weekend, Saints running backs coach Dan Rochar was traveling to his home in Iowa. The Rochars, Dan lost his mother. She passed away just before the Rams game last week. He was away from the football team Sunday, Monday, and I want to say back on Tuesday. But certainly our condolences and those of the black and gold here for Dan Rochar's family with that loss here in this preseason.
Holding. Defense, number 30, 5-yard penalty, automatic, 1st down.
On 4th and a yard, they get the penalty, they get the 1st down, and we get John DeShazer once again. JD.
Well, I'll stay with the defensive theme, Joel. You have your top 3 safeties, Bird, Vaccaro, and Bush. Sounds like a law firm. However, Sunseri has jumped to the top of that second group, and he's going to earn some snaps. You know that Rob Ryan likes to play a 3-safety defensive package. Sunseri looks like he knows what to do in the base as well as the sub packages, so we should look for him being on the field more than just special teams.
Thank you, John. It'll be a flag, no recognition by the D-back, and locating the ball. That's Darius Brooks once again on the coverage, so it'll be an interference call inside the 30.
Some bluebirds in the folks that have stuck around here.
Defense, number 34, not playing the ball. Automatic 1st down at the spot of the foul.
Not much to say about this replay, Joel. This is a pretty easy call.
Need to locate the ball. There's Mariani, the receiver. And speaking of Sunseri, got there a little bit late, but still made sure of it, putting Isaiah Williams down. So it's been a shutout for the Saints so far in the second half. Let's see if it continues to be that way over the last 50 seconds. Once again, the Titans are now in the Slap Your Mama Cajun Seasoning red zone.
Yes, they are. Slap your mama.
On a 1st and goal. And the running back slips. Antonio Andrews, a rookie that wasn't drafted out of Western Kentucky. There's still timeouts left for Tennessee. And this is, they want to look at film and see what Mettenberger does in the last 2 minutes of the game as well. Turnovers the difference, and the Saints took it away 5 times.
Anytime you can create 5 turnovers, you're really increasing your opportunity for success. And Kenny Vaccaro with the first 2, punching the ball out. And Cam Jordan with the sack fumble.
We saw it all night long on the balls that they took away, and even the ones they couldn't. They were ball hawking all night on the Saints' defensive side of the ball.
And there's our player of the game, Vinny Sunseri. He showed up a lot in the second half. Vaccaro in the first half, the 5th-round pick out of Alabama in the second half. Mettenberger, and there goes the pocket. He'll go down, and it's Sunseri again with the forearm, a little bit of shoulder action in the quarterback. Just not fair.
I think the rookie will learn to slide after a play like this.
Lesson learned.
Now, helmet-to-helmet contact, but I think that Sunseri's not at fault here because Mettenberger leads with his head, unfortunately.
I would be interested to see if Vinny gets a FedEx package on Thursday from a hit like that. But like you say, that's Mettenberger lowering his head into position for a shot. And you see Vinny Sunseri off to the sidelines being looked at by the Dr. Jones on the Saints sideline.
So we talk about the positives and the takeaways. The minus, they'll be talking about it in the locker room. 21 penalties, 179 yards, and you're not going to win a regular season game with 21 penalties. They're all tangled up. A flag coming on the hold, and it was Marcus Ball. Locked up a little bit.
I'm pretty sure they will not allow you to spin a receiver around. That's a universal rule.
Stitch, how much of this is sloppy and how much of this is trying to press and maybe show something in a preseason game?
Ball at the 1 yard line, automatic first down.
It is definitely a mix. Guys are trying to make plays, and sometimes you press a little hard and push the rules, but anytime you get into these 20-plus penalties, it's way, way too much.
Number 22 on the Saints on a 1st and goal. Mettenberger on the deflection and a touchdown. It's grabbed by his tight end. It looked like it was Chase Kaufman, the recipient, and it was. For Missouri Tiger. All Big 12 for Missouri.
Tennessee in the second half was struggling to find the end zone, had a number of turnovers, and with 10 seconds left in the game, Mettenberger finds a bounce pass that ends up in the arms of his tight end.
Not only will they get a score late, here comes the extra point. They'll get an opportunity to get the hands team out and an onside kick with 10 seconds on the clock. Travis Coons in for the extra point. And it stays inside the upright. So a 7-point game. And it'll give the Saints an opportunity to get their group out there, their hands group as well. They'll get connected with CST Online. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and at CoxSportsTV.com for the latest sports news and information. Exclusive videos as well from CST reporters and a whole lot more. Don't forget to check out our programming schedule, which includes CST exclusive like Saints Tonight, CST Tonight, and LSU Game Day Live. So log on today. And Mettenberger, well, he took some shots. He persevered, and he put up some decent passes to the extent where he threw for better than 250 yards.
I think he learns a lot with this play tonight. You know, last week against Green Bay, he was involved in a couple of turnovers, but then had a redeeming moment in finding a way to help Tennessee beat Green Bay in a sloppy game. Here tonight, Stitch, he's in a variety of situations, and he's there because he had to play more than, I guess, scheduled because of the injury to Whitehurst. So when you look at it, at the end of the day, the numbers are pretty good, and the amount of tape or the amount of experience as far as live reps goes can only help a guy. I don't know if he moves up on their depth chart or stays at number 3, but this is one of those nights that can help.
Well, it's invaluable experience.
It's covered. You can continue.
Easily recovered.
Sorry.
But for Mettenberger, this is invaluable experience. The more reps you can see against an opponent at a preseason pace, you're not going up against your team in a sterile practice environment where everybody knows whether it's passing situations that you're practicing, but to get these experiences in various situations and see the ball move in live speed, it's really good and valuable to all of these rookies, especially at the quarterback position.
Logan Kilgore takes the knee, and that'll do it. Saints win it by 7. They got it done. It, at times, wasn't as efficient as they would have liked. There were some spectacular plays on both sides of the ball, though, as we talked about, the defense creating opportunities for the offense. And that's one thing to take away from this game. 5
turnovers is a major plus for this defense. The downside overall for the New Orleans Saints is what we've talked about since the first quarter. It's these penalties. 22-plus penalties is something that's got to be cleaned up, and will definitely be discussed in depth.
So we'll come right back. We'll get final thoughts from John and Sean and get ready for the postgame show with everybody in the studio as well. It's the Saints by 7 over the Titans in New Orleans.